Whoop, whoop. Let's get into it, guys. Someone just said in the super chat, sending love from Estonia. Isn't that where Maddie Ari's from? You ever heard of that comedian? That's where Maddie's from. You can see what's on the screen there. I do apologize for being late, guys. So many tabs I have open right now. It looks like it's 40 tabs I have open. Okay. I am a newscaster now. I do apologize. And the last ones that I have to bring up are the memes, because there's one meme that just caught me off guard. Caught me so off guard. And we have to play a little bit of Fleet. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Fleet before. Friend of the show. Absolute incredible talent. We're going to play Fleet. I have to show you this meme, though. I don't know why this meme made me laugh so hard when I saw it. It just jumped out of nowhere. And yes, Prince Andrew did get arrested, as you do when you do so many things with Jeff, you know. Bang. I mean, I don't know why I laughed so hard when I just looked at his face. He's just absolutely covered in honey. I mean, just head to toe, just elated with his lady, you know, just a man in love, just a man deep in honey. I mean, just incredible. I love to see it. Love to see it. I laughed so hard when I saw this at night. I just started crying laughing with the country music sensation, right? You can ignore what she's wearing. She didn't have all her American flag stuff, so she just had to sub it out with some other stuff. But I mean, other than that, this is by somebody named Hard R Tard. Thank you. Solid name, by the way. Very solid username. You might want to, and then what does it say as you're at? It's Tardy Hard. I like it. I like it. I mean, it's a pun. It's a play on words. You hear he says hard R at first. You're like, I know where this guy's going. And then he says tard, and you're like, okay. And then it says tardy hard instead of party hard because he's a tard. I mean, it's just perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that meme. Absolutely doused in honey. Cash Patel. Also, we're going to be covering Cash Patel. Him and Dan Bongino sat down together. Oh, what fun that must have been. I'm sure that they covered the things that everybody's been asking them about. I'm sure that's what they decided to do, right? Well, you'll have to wait and see. It's hard to figure out what they could have talked about, right? Then they probably talked about the Dow. That's probably what they were talking about the most. Then we're going to cover, of course, Prince Andrew. Then, of course, we're going to talk about Lex Wexner. Then we have to cover Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson detained in Philadelphia. That was very weird. Then we're going to cover something that's key intel. Balix Tones says it's key intel. Okay? I can't wait to show you what Balix says is key intel that everybody must know. Thank God Balix has come back to the light and he is covering the things that really, really matter. And I forgot to pull this one thing up. I should actually I don't even know where I would put it right now. I have so many tabs open. It's crazy. I mean, I'll pull it up when we're talking about the files because there's no way we're not talking about the files. That's just the way that's going to go. It's going to get to the point where people are tired of it, just like everything. But I mean, it's one of those things that you just don't let go. So anyone who's getting tired of hearing about the files, I mean, you're crazy. There's 3 million of them, and people haven't even worked through them all yet. Not even there. What was that thing I wanted to pull up? It was the Alexander brothers. Have you heard of these guys? They are Philadelphian American, and they are caught up in the files. So that should be interesting to cover. And apparently they got arrested. So we're seeing some arrests here and there. Let's go here. And of course we have to talk about Prince Andrew. We'll just jump over there. Oh no, Fleet first, then Prince Andrew. I mean, we gotta cover the important stuff first. I mean, sorry, I just got to. even has my shirt, even the shirt I wore yesterday, which Baron was making fun of. Okay? This is called a laundry shirt. When I'm wearing these shirts, it means these ones are in the laundry. Okay? I'm back to black. I love my black. I got a uniform. Okay? I don't go Technicolor like Baron does. Okay? Tell him I said so. How about that? Okay? I heard the things he was saying about me. I was watching while he was saying them. I didn't say he was 67 years old. I said he must be 67 years old. Okay? And if he was, he'd be the best looking 67-year-old ever. He just has 37 kids. So I was like, you have to be pretty old to have 37 children. Anyway, let's get into it. Baron messaged me yesterday. He's like, I heard, they told me you said I was 67. I was like, what? No, I didn't. But he says he loves the community, loves you guys, really appreciates everything. Let's get into it. I want to speak to Erica Kirk directly because she deserves to hear the truth. That is crazy. I wonder if Erica talked to her. You know, they met up in a room. She's like, it was me. Erica's just like, my man. Good to meet you, dog. How you doing, dog? Hey, look. I forgive you. They both start clapping hands. Yeah. Oh, anyway, girl, how much I owe you? No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen. I'm being silly. Anyway, that's the article.
Anyways, if you find anything, email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com. Thanks.
Okay, that is so fun. Candace, you can't ask people to go on witch hunts for you. You can't do that. Come on. Am I asking people to go on a witch hunt? Yeah, I am. I think that's fair. Candace is the best, man. Candace is the best. I mean, just incredible. I want everyone to go on a witch hunt immediately. Take your burlap sacks and find me these witches. I want their names. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Whoop, whoop. There it is. Let's go. Wow. That ending is absolutely incredible. I guess that's what has to be like the ending of my videos or something. For the Clips channel, this channel. Thank you so much, Fleet. Fleet, friend of the show. How do I show Fleet there? Show Fleet. There you go. Fleet, definitely jump on the YouTube. Jumping on X is great, but jump on YouTube. That's where you really are supporting her for all of the stuff she puts together. And, some people have messaged me and they're like, this person's stealing your stuff. Fleet's good. Fleet can do whatever. So don't even worry about that. Definitely go to YouTube and support. She's probably near 20,000 subscribers by now. Keep on killing it, Fleet. Let's jump into Prince Andrew with that face. Now, first I saw Gunther talk about this, guys. And Gunther's the same guy who was like, Pam Bondi just released all of the files. All of the redacted Jeff files just got released by her. And then Balix Tones parroted the same thing. He took up, this is how you know there's something going on coordinated and somebody's getting some kind of incentive by someone high up orange, this is how you know. Balix takes the exact same tweet, the same tweet word for word, and posts it and says, well, all the files have been released. He didn't look into it. Nothing. Why? Because they're doing it on orders. They're taking marching orders. So Gunther is sometimes just full of ish. And I couldn't take that. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is Gunther. I can't take him seriously. Then I saw the head of digital media for the Defense Department sipping his coffee in the Pentagon, Graham Allen, just sitting in the Pentagon, just figuring out what he's going to say next about Candace, getting his marching orders from Philadelphians. Then I was like, okay, this is picking up some steam here. Okay? Prince Andrew's been arrested over ties to redacted Jeff, suspicion of misconduct in public office. I was like, okay, now this thing has legs. Now that Graham has talked about it, okay, full of truth and justice, this guy, I was like, okay, I got to consider this a little bit. Then I saw Fox and Friends post it, and I was like, it could still be propaganda because it's Fox and Friends. Then I saw Mario. I mean, Mario has more credibility than any mainstream news outlet. If you're on X, you know exactly what I mean. But let's play these videos. Let's hear what is actually had to be said. Now, this is Piers Morgan talking to these Fox and Friends people because he is on the ground. Obviously, it's Piers Morgan. He was there. So listen to this.
An absolute bombshell. I mean, to put this into context, there has been no member of the royal family arrested in my lifetime. I'm 60 years old. If you have to go back centuries to the last time that a member of the British royal family was arrested. And this is a serious matter. If he is convicted of misconduct in public office, then the vast majority of people that receive that kind of conviction end up with a prison sentence, and the maximum sentence is life imprisonment. And this is the king's brother who remains eighth in line to the throne. So this is, like I say, an absolute bombshell, not completely surprising, because I think the tone of the king's statement last week clearly opened the door for the police to make a move.
So Piers, just to be clear for us that don't understand, even though his royal titles were taken away, even though he was kicked out of the palace and all the estate, he's not receiving a salary from the government, from the people anymore, he still remains in the line of succession?
Yeah, I know it sounds preposterous, but that is the current state of play. Now, I think it's very fanciful that he would ever accede to the throne under any circumstances, and I think increasingly that is going to be ruled out anyway by the sequence of events. But I think it's important to clarify here that the arrest is not in connection with anything to do with Epstein. This is very specifically about his behavior when he was a trade envoy, which is a government appointment. He was acting on behalf of the country for about a decade, in which he traveled around the world as a kind of business envoy for the country. And during that period, we now know from giving him the information he was getting, top secret information as a trade envoy. I mean, this is treacherous, treasonous behavior by a man who is the brother of the king of this country now. So these are very serious allegations. And of course, once there's a police investigation, they've been raiding all of his homes now. They'll be taking all his devices, everything they can find that may relate to this. But that might also, of course, uncover more information, more evidence about the other incredibly serious allegations against Andrew, which is that he, of course, committed and possibly other.
So when we talk about this, I saw somebody, they're like, are you sure this isn't like an op of some kind? No, I don't think so. I think royal families are cunning. And if they have an excuse, I think it's not just cliche. Kings and brothers who could be king one day, they take each other out. It's like mob bosses. They love each other until they want the power. Then they're just like, I'm just gonna preemptively take this guy out because I think he might want this one day. I don't know. He's eighth. I just want to take him out. Plus, I have all this stuff on him. I'll just let him take him out. Who cares? There's that. It's like really treacherous in that respect. But then also, it's in the files, right? So they can't really deny it. It's funny that Piers Morgan was like, oh, it's not connected to any type of other scandal. It's because when he was, what do you call it? A public office boy or something like that. They have such funny names over there. It's for when he was actually the boy of the public office. He was a public office boy, right? It's a very respected position over here in the Ukraine. Cross the pond, as you call it, right? That's all. He was public office boy, public office paper boy. It's a very respected position, right? And he's saying it's like no connection to any like weird, sexual type stuff. It's like, in my opinion, yeah, it is. That's why he was giving Redacted Jeff the information, obviously, because Redacted Jeff has seen this guy do the worst things. Redacted Jeff probably has pictures, videos. There actually is a picture out there of him like holding, not like aggressively, but he's like on top of somebody. And you could tell he didn't know the picture was coming because he's like, oh, right? So you can imagine what Redacted Jeff had on this guy. And then he's just like, hey, like, tell me this information. I need this information. It's going to help me make money. It's probably going to help other people, maybe even Philadelphia, make some money, right? So I don't know. It makes sense to me. A lot of people think it's an op because when something actually happens in another country, America goes, that can't be real. That can't possibly be real. No. The other countries are like, I think we have to arrest some people. Pam Bondi's like, the Dow. Okay, let's close this up and stop talking about this. Dan Bongino's like, me and you, Cash, we did a great job. Huh? Other countries are like, I think we have to put people in jail. Oh no. Because they have countries where sometimes 100,000, 250,000 people gather up and they're like, we're really mad. We're really, really mad. And we're soccer hooligans too. We can take the soccer hooliganery and we can put it towards anything. You probably should put someone in jail. They have that whole thing, right? So there's movement happening in other countries, right? Norway, the UK. Plus the UK's put in like 10,000 people in jail for Facebook posts. What do you think they're going to do to the public office paperboy who was Prince Andrew? What do you think they're going to do? They're like, lock him up, check his Facebook and his ex. If he said anything that makes anyone uncomfortable, put him in jail. Put him in jail if he's made people uncomfortable or annoyed. Put him in jail for years. Just that big powdered wig, They used to wear those because people had syphilis. Fun fact. That's why those wigs exist. Anyway, so I think it's real. I think it makes sense. There's, like I said, other countries are actually making moves. They're a little bit pissed. We could hear a little bit more about what happened with Prince Andrew, but I think it's very clear he was giving information to Redacted Jeff. Redacted Jeff was blackmailing him for sure because Prince Andrew was a freak. He was a straight up freak. 7 days a week, that kind of thing. He did the same thing to Bill Gates. You didn't see what Epstein was saying to Bill Gates? Did you not see that? Did I not cover that? I don't think I did. It was early on in the release. But, Bill Gates like gave his wife something. Bill Gates was like allegedly, maybe perhaps. I mean, this is what the files say. He was with some Russian lady, a lady of the night of sorts, caught something, gave it to his wife, was going to Redacted Jeff saying, hey, I need something to slip to my wife. Like he wanted to slip it to her. He didn't want to even tell her. He's going to break it up and put it in her oatmeal or something like that. Put it in some filet mignon or something like that. Crazy. And Redacted Jeff afterwards was like, I helped you in that regard. I thought our friendship was different. And he started bringing it up. Like, that's what he does. That's what he was doing. He was blackmailing people heavy as possible. I mean, what else do you do when you have that type of info on Bill Gates? I mean, I don't know. I would never do that. But if I knew that, I'd be like, give me $1 billion. You can do that, right? Okay, $500 million. Fine. Can you just send it to me? Or I'm going to tell your wife. I don't know. I don't like you anyway. Can I just give me the money? Can I have it? Can I have a helicopter? Are you kidding me? If I knew anything secret about him, I'd be like, can I have 2 helicopters? I don't know. No, I can't fly them or anything. You have to give me pilots. You're not going to give me pilots? You're going to give me helicopters, no pilots? Come on, Bill. Of course. I don't know. Again, I don't condone it, but you're probably going to try and milk that guy a little bit, right? Same with Prince Andrew. You're going to be like, give me all the paperboy secrets, the public paperboy secrets that you have, okay? Commit treason for me immediately, or I'm going to release everything that you've done here, right? Let's keep going.
Took the brother of King Charles into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Officers reportedly arrived at the royal estate in eastern England earlier this morning to make the arrest of the former prince, who turns 66 years old today. Andrew is in custody, and investigators are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Police are releasing this statement in part, without naming Andrew, by the way, saying, quote, following a thorough assessment, we have now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office, an offense that carries up to life in prison in the UK, by the way. We're still waiting more details of this breaking news, but this comes after Andrew was stripped of his royal title last October over ties to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, and after Thames Valley Police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material by the former prince with the late sex offender. The former prince has consistently denied any wrongdoing. Misconduct in public office refers to, quote, serious, willful abuse or neglect of powers relating to the role of public office. We shall see what comes of this. It's a developing story, as you guys know, so we'll keep our viewers updated.
Wild.
Police say they
absolutely wild. You know, just you're living your life. You're wearing silly hats. You know, you're what seems to be your wife here has the silliest hat possible. It's just a bunch of ribbon with a flat thing on the side. You know, you're all running. Look, they all have the silly hats on, and you're just living life. You're living large with your silly hat, right? And you think life is just going to be you in silly hats forever. And then the next thing you know, you turn 66, which is 33 times 2. And then the next thing you know, you get arrested because of what you did when you were the public office paperboy. How about that? Giving secrets to redacted Jeff. Well, it happens. It happens. Let's see. What did King Charles say? He actually gave a statement here. Check this out. King Charles responded to the former prince's arrest. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He said his brother's full name. Wow, such a king, right? And suspicion of misconduct in public office. What does he say? Now what follows is the full, fair, and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the proper manner by the proper authorities. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. Wow. Okay. He really didn't like him. He's the king. He could be like, leave my brother alone. He could, right? He's the king. Doesn't he like own Canada? There's like a thing where it's like he actually owns the land of Canada. Like, I know. You're like, no, that's not true. Look it up. Apparently he could kick everybody out of their houses. He could just be like, get out of here. All you guys, go back to wherever you're from. Yeah. Like he could do that. He could. And listen, if he can't do that, he can for sure just say, yeah, don't touch my brother. Don't touch my brother. Don't do it. I have a secret army. I'll send them all after all of you guys, whoever you are. Don't touch my brother. Leave him alone. Get in the castle, Andrew. Get in the castle. And don't touch anybody on your way in. He could do that, but he's not. So there's something going on there. You know, sometimes you get tired of your brother, you know? Your brother's just like, your brother's a freak. He's doing all sorts of wild things. You're just like, you know what? You need to go to jail. Sometimes listen, I say it all the time. I've said it with, young guys, 66, whatever. Sometimes you need to sit down. Sometimes you're getting too lost in the sauce, as the kids say. You're getting lost in the sauce and you're doing whatever you want. And you need to sit down a little bit and just chill because you're just going nuts. You're giving secrets to redacted Jeff because of freaky stuff you did on an island. You need to sit down for a little bit. Okay, little brother, this is too much. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Mountbatten Windsor. You know these guys are actually German? They're like German and iguana. You guys know that? You've never seen that? These guys are German and iguana. Isn't that weird? Isn't that odd? And they're related to, I think it's Dracula. I'm not making that up. I'm not being funny. They're related to Dracula. He is related to Dracula. By which you can tell, of course, by looking at him, right? He does look like a mix of Dracula and iguana, but that's a real thing. He's related to Dracula. Isn't that weird? And he's a king. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyway, let's keep going here. Prince Andrew arrested, 66th birthday. Brother of Prince Charles, blah, blah, blah. Raids underway at his Norfolk home, as well as his Berkshire properties, over ties to redacted Jeff, accused of misconduct in public office, allegedly confidential UK trading secrets, faces life in prison. The PM said the law must take its course. So they both said the law must take its course. Oh, wow. They really don't like him. They're putting him away. They're saying the same things in unison. What was that picture they had here? It's Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's like, oh man, Hillary, did you see what happened? Did you see what happened the other day? They got Andrew. You know how many freak-offs I had with Andrew? Oh, God. Hillary, what are we going to do? Quiet, Bill. Quiet. You're the one who got us in this mess. I didn't need to go to islands to get freaky or to eat people. I would do it in the comfort of our own home. You're the one that wanted to go somewhere tropical, you know? Yeah, that's Prince Andrew, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're cooked, bro. You're cooked. What are we talking about here? You know? We'll see what they get out of it. I don't think the raid's going to amount to anything. I think that's more for show, honestly. Like, what's he going to have? He might have pictures and, you know, who knows? But whatever he does have, they're going to keep so they can blackmail people, you know? That's what I think they did with mostly Redacted Jeff stuff. They were like, we're just going to keep it. That's why they're not releasing the other 3 million files. They're like, we keep that and then we blackmail people, you know? That's why Nicki Minaj is like, I love the current president. I think he's absolutely amazing. Just came out of nowhere. Like, what? I've always loved him. Now she's just like on this political tour. Like, aren't you a rapper? Why aren't you twerking and rapping? Isn't that what you do? I mean, nothing wrong with twerking and rapping, right? I love rapping, you know. I can't twerk myself, you know, but you know, it's very interesting that there's just so many people. All those tech guys popped up. They're like, we love this administration. Thank you guys so much, you know, because they have the files on these guys now. Why would you turn over that much blackmail to the public when you could keep it and just blackmail the people more? You know? I mean, you're crazy. The people at the agency and the FBI, they're probably laughing. You're going to give it all to the public, right? So they can see. They're like, okay, that's what we're going to do. You know, we're the real president of the United States, right? We're not doing that. Are you out of your mind? Jack Posopic says it's been nearly 400 years since a senior member of the British royal family has been arrested. So you mean a junior member has been arrested? That's very interesting. I'd love to know about that. You know, that's crazy. 400 years. So there you go. Prince Andrew might go to jail, especially because it seems like no one in his family cares that he might go to jail. That's usually a huge indicator. If your family doesn't care, then you're probably getting locked up. We're 5,000 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I know Black Poppy. I. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Hit that like button, please. Let's move on to Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. Did I alter this correctly? I think I did. Everything's gonna say Philly. These are official tweets, but everything's going to say Philly because magic. That's how. Coach Magic, okay? Erica's not the only one with sparkles and glitter, okay? I got a little bit myself, so everything's going to say Philly. Breaking news, Tucker Carlson reportedly detained in Philly and dragged into interrogation room. Now, I'll start off this by saying a lot of people are claiming that this is normal. I would beg to differ. I know quite a few people who have gone to Philadelphia, and they don't usually tell me about the interrogation room. This is straight up, you know. Crown Heights, you grow up with a lot of people who love Philadelphia, and they go there as much as they can. Some of them move there. I got friends that live there, you know. And they're like, I was in a bomb shelter for 48 hours. I was like, well, come back, right? Like, don't stay at the place you have a bomb shelter. Don't stay there. And they're like, no, I love it. And I'm like, okay. Cool. Let me know when you get out of the bomb shelter, friend. So that's Tucker there. He was doing an interview with Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee actually pretty much called him out. They were having a back and forth on X. Tucker doesn't play around. So Mike Huckabee was like, why don't you come and say it to me? Okay? Instead of talking all that mess. Tucker said, bet. Where are you? He said, I'm in Philly. Tucker said, don't even worry about it. I'll see you soon. We'll be face to face, big guy. So Tucker just went over there like a G, like an absolute G, and did the interview. So I guess got minorly questioned like you do entering even into an airport, a country, right? You get a little bit of questions here and there. But what happened next is what happened after the interview. And a lot of people who are very pro-Philadelphia are acting like as if this happened when he was coming into the country, which would also be weird to get interrogated as soon as you get into the country, especially when you know who the person is. He's a super famous journalist. You know who Tucker Carlson is. You know. And if he's like, these are my people, and they all have their credentials and they all have their proper identification, why are you interrogating them? I mean, that's just me, like right off the bat. I don't believe them. I'm going to show you a bunch of statements, a statement from the actual airport as well. But I mean, come on. We know what's going on. This is the same guy who decided to say that Redacted Jeff was working on behalf of Philadelphia. He said it on stage at a Turning Point event, okay? Then a very rich Philadelphian donor ran up to him and Charlie and said, you can't do this. Don't do this ever again. And pretty much reprimanded Charlie in front of Tucker. It's the same guy. So, you know, he's kind of on their radar, you would think, right? So, Tucker Carlson detained in Philadelphia. The journalist dragged into an interrogation room as an explosive interview sparks a diplomatic storm. Now, there is a little bit of a quote from Tucker Carlson, I believe. Let me see if I can see that from Tucker here. He said, bang, there it is. Tucker then goes on to say, men who identified themselves as airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer into a side room, then demanded to know what we spoke to Ambassador Huckabee about. Carlson told the Daily Mail, it was bizarre. We're out of the country now. So Tucker got out of there as soon as he possibly could. This is probably what he looked like. I'm telling you, as he was leaving that country, there was no... There was none of that as he was leaving the country. He was probably just like, you know, just upset about the whole thing. Of course, as you would be, right? There's the presidents of the United States. There's that guy. Let's just see. Somebody was taunting Tucker. He said, too bad Tucker stayed in the airport in the face of so many invitations to see so many wonderful places. A huge and obviously intentional missed opportunity, taunted Dave Friedman, the former ambassador, U.S. ambassador to Philadelphia during now Prez's first term. Now that's funny. He's like taunting him there. You know, so many invitations. It's like, you have so many invitations. Come to where it's all open. There's buildings everywhere surrounding you. You should come and be here. I know you've said so many horrible things about us, but you should come in front of these buildings and stand with us openly with your head and neck completely exposed. I don't understand. Why would you not do that with us? This is a wonderful place. Come, walk where Jesus walked, where anybody could be mounted on anything with any type of firearm. Come, Tucker. Tucker's like, I don't know. Andrew Colvett said there's a really credible threat as he cried schnot bubbles to Candace Owens. I don't know if I should really be doing that. My friend just got murdered 6 months ago. I don't know if I should do that. People are saying that you guys did that to my friend. No, Tucker, we wouldn't do that. What are you talking about? Please stand here 5 more inches to the left, please. And let's just talk about this briefly. Nothing will happen to you. Can you put this microphone on? Put this microphone on. Take these mints. Have you ever met Brian Harpole? He's here. That's not a detonator. That's a pack of mints. Can you put the microphone on, please? On the inside of your shirt, please. Tucker's like, I don't know about all this. I don't know if I should be doing this. They're like, come on. Just leave the airport. There's such a big building over there. You want to look at it with me? Come. Tucker's like, I don't know, guys. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this. It just feels irresponsible. They're like, what's wrong with you? What are you, anti-Philadelphian? Come on, come with us. You ever had a shawarma? This is a real shawarma. You ever had one before? Come with us. Come with us. There's just a guy with a rifle barrel just poking through a shawarma. Yalla, come. This shawarma, you want to taste? You want to taste? Come. Tucker's like, I don't know. That looks like a rifle. It looks like a shawarma too, but it also looks like a rifle. I don't know if I should be doing this. Come, BB wants to talk to you. He says he can take you to the next level. What are you, crazy? You're not going to do this? He wants to interview. Come, get inside this black truck with us, please. Get inside this black van with us. We'll put this bag over your head for safekeeping. We want to keep your face safe. Please come with us. I don't know. This seems like a bad situation for me to be in. I'll be honest. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Candace Owens commented on this whole thing. The American welfare state in the Middle East. Candace, just can't hold herself back. Shouldn't be allowed to stop Americans at all, frankly. I could so see her saying that too. At all, frankly, just very matter-of-factly. They shouldn't be able to talk to us at all. We give them all their money. That's exactly what Candace would say. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene saying American citizen and journalist Tucker Carlson detained in Philly after interviewing our U.S. ambassador Mike Huckabee. We won't tolerate this. You just made it worse. Yeah, arguably, just made it worse. Now, again, people are saying that this is normal, right? But also, it's like, you got to really think about, like, the interview Tucker released while he was there was about how Philadelphians treat Christians. We spoke to one of the families who's lived there since Jesus. That's a very weird accolade to have. How long you been in the neighborhood? We've been here since Jesus. Yeah, we did. The cross was over there. Yeah, they took it from those trees. Yep, we saw the whole thing. My dad took pictures. The story is shocking. So that's what he released right away, okay? Again, like I said, he's also the guy who's like, hey, I think Redacted Jeff was working for Philadelphia. He's like, it's obvious. He's like, it's obvious. I know. And Charlie Kirk was saying it right along with him. Like, why do you think this happened to him? Just randomly? Everybody does this? I mean, it's bad when even Andrew Colvett is like, what on earth? Please tell me this is fake news. Andrew probably got the call. Andrew's I don't want to say Andrew's a liar, but, Andrew's probably like, what on earth? Oh, man, I'm so shocked. Him and Erica. Erica's like, ooh, they did what? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, no. Thoughts and prayers. Andrew's like, yes, thoughts and prayers. We never saw this coming. Tell him to go and visit the place where there's all those tall buildings, where it's a very open area. It's kind of like a Coliseum feel. Tell him to visit that place. Tell him, Andrew. Andrew's like, yeah, you should visit that place, Tucker. Don't worry about what I said about credible threats. I was just crying schnapp bubbles. That's all. Even Andrew Colvett commented on it. And then, Ezra Levant. You haven't even heard of this guy. He is, and I'm not even kidding, top of the independent media in Canada. Pretty much the top of it. Independent media? Yeah, 100%. He runs something called Rebel News. I'm sure you've heard of Rebel News. They cover Davos pretty heavily. They're pretty popular on X. They've gotten knocked down a touch on YouTube because they post too much and they don't realize it. But other than that, this guy is the top independent thinker. And he's just like, well, they do this to every visitor. They ask for your passport. You give it to them. They ask you a bunch of questions. Some of them are personal. It's a stress test to see if you're lying. Then you can go. This is how Philly does their security and border control. After, when people are leaving, independent thinker. This is what an independent thinker looks like in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun with that. That's great, huh? It's fine. What? Like, of course, like he's in Canada, right? He's like, yeah, they take what they want from you. They put you in whatever room they choose, and they ask you things until you're stressed out beyond belief. This is normal. This is very normal. What are you talking about? He's also Philadelphian. You can't tell by the name, but he is. He very much is. And, that's fine. That's fine. But that's why he's saying that. That's why he's saying this is normal. All of the Zio Philadelphians, the Zio Phillies, are saying that this is completely normal. It's fine. They're even saying that Tucker faked it. It's not true. It's not a thing that actually happened. I don't think he's lying about it. I don't think so. I don't think Tucker would make that up. I don't think there's any reason for him to make it up. He doesn't really need a reason to talk badly about Philadelphia at all. He just kind of does it. He doesn't really need to go there and make up a story about it. He could just say they treated me fine, or I was just in and out really quick. He wouldn't need to make up a full story about it. Somebody else just talking about this. Tucker said he and his staff were detained Mike Huckabee after the interview with Mike Huckabee. Again, that is a big distinction. Getting questioned when you enter a place is one thing. Getting questioned and having one person hauled off to an interrogation room and you potentially asked a bunch of questions as well, that's an odd thing. Also, them wanting to know what you talked to Mike Huckabee about, but didn't do the same thing to Mike Huckabee. That's where it gets very interesting. Mike Huckabee just went, all right, Tucker, it was great talking to you. We disagreed on a lot of things, but I think we made a little bit of common ground. So it was great seeing you. I'll have a good one. He just walked away. Bye. Just waved to all the secret security or whatever. Hey, bye, everybody. And then Tucker turns around. There's just 3 guys standing in front of him. Yalla, your passport. Passport, now. Mike Huckabee's just sipping coffee. Oh, are they talking to Tucker? Funny how that happens. You know? Why didn't they do that to Mike Huckabee? Why weren't they like, what did you talk to Tucker about? Why didn't that happen to him? Interesting, right? Just coincidentally, super supporter. He is the U.S. ambassador, so he has a really good relationship with them. Tucker doesn't. So Tucker gets interrogated. He doesn't, you know? Very obvious what happened, in my opinion. The officials demanded to know what they spoke to Mike Huckabee about. It was bizarre, like he said. I can't wait till Tucker Carlson actually gives a statement about this. I checked his X. I checked his YouTube. He has not released any official video about the whole thing. I suspect that will be his next video that he releases, and I suspect that'll be very soon, probably within the next 24 hours. This is Benny Johnson reading what the actual airport had to say about the whole thing.
Tucker Carlson and his entourage were not arrested, not delayed, not interrogated. Mr. Carlson and members of his entourage were politely asked a few routine questions in accordance with the standard procedures that are applied at the time to many passengers. The conversation took place in a VIP lounge in a separate room solely for the purpose of protecting the privacy and to avoid holding it in the presence of other passengers. No unusual incident occurred, and the Israeli airport authorities strongly reject any other claim to the matter. Contrary to the reports, Tucker Carlson was not detained, delayed, or interrogated. Okay.
Look, Betty Johnson. Betty Johnson is nervous. Very nervous. Okay, that's what they say. Okay, can I go now? Can I go now? Somebody just standing behind the camera. Yeah? You're good? All right, stand up. Walk out slowly. Slowly. All right. Have a good day. So that's what they have to say. What else would they say? Yeah, we did interrogate Tucker Carlson. And we did it unfairly, and yeah, we pulled people into rooms, and yeah, it was probably really scary. Who cares? That's what we do. It's fine, okay? And if any other American comes here, we're going to do the same thing to them. They're going to say that? No, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that at all. They're going to say everything was fine. It was a VIP lounge that Tucker probably paid for where they did the interview that we bursted into. So the whole thing happened in a VIP lounge. It's fine. Like they took him to a VIP lounge. Like Tucker was in some closed up space. It's like, oh man, this interview was tough. And they were like, would you come to us? Could you come with us to this VIP lounge, sir? Come sit with us in this VIP lounge so we can just talk about a few things. That's what they did? No. Tucker already had the VIP lounge because he's Tucker Carlson. You got to read between the lines here. So I myself, if you can't tell, I don't believe that. I think they did interrogate him. I think they did because they don't like him. And honestly, I guess they can do that, right? Like it's another country. I mean, they can kind of do that. They don't like you. You're on their radar. You say a bunch of things. There's so many speculations that people make that he works for Qatar. Like in their mind, maybe they're just like, whatever, let's just interrogate him. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? But it's interesting because it was two Americans having a conversation, and they felt like we are allowed to interject and figure out what was being talked about, you know? Also, they're acting like as if the room wasn't bugged, like as if they didn't know, that the U.S. ambassador was having an interview with one of the biggest journalists in the world. Like they didn't know that. Mike Huckabee probably has to tell them, like, hey, I'm leaving. He probably has a little bit of a security, not a convoy, but he probably has security. They're probably linked up to the Philadelphian government. And he's probably like, I'm going to talk with Tucker Carlson. We're going to this airport now at this time. Are you kidding me? They didn't know at all? Get out of here. Get out of here, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I just can't wait to hear Tucker Carlson talk about it. There's 6,000 people in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I know Black Poppy. Yay! Just subscribe to Fleet. Good. Make sure you do. Keep supporting Fleet. I always say, you know, even if it's like little clips that are mine, it's like you never know what it'll build into. She might become the next, like the creators of South Park. You have no idea. So you got to kind of just let that creativity flow. And if we can support it, you got to support it because you just never know. You never know what somebody will break out into. So I love it. I love it myself, in case anybody's wondering. Let's get into this. I think I have to show you guys something really, really quick. I just want to show you guys this really, really quick. I just did the I know Black Poppy thing. I hope I saved this. I'm just going to check my Instagram really, really fast here, guys, because I saw something and I was like, there has been an evolution. There's been an evolution, ladies and gentlemen. Is he? Oh, there he is. There he is. I have to show you guys this. Just hold tight just a second, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, is this where it ended? That is where it ended. Boom. Let's pull this up really quick. There's been an evolution. It is no longer just I know Black Poppy. Now enters the chat, I know Gringo Poppy.
Dominican Poppy. What? No gringo, I Dominican Poppy. Tú quieres man. No gringo, I Dominican Poppy.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The evolution is taking place. I love that. I absolutely love that guy did that. Absolutely nuts. What? And you know what? He's right too. There will be some Dominicans that just look like a guy named Keith, you know? And they're just like, I know gringo. Blanco. Nunca. I Dominican, papi. My friend. Hey. No blanco, okay? 4 black guys behind him. No blanco, no negro. Nunca. You know, they're all just yelling, nunca. Just tight shorts on. Everybody knows about the tight shorts, which I love. Everybody knows about that. I have a friend, his wife's Cuban, and I remember I think I met their Dominican friend once, or I saw a picture, and I swear he was dressed just like this. He was dressed exactly like this, head to toe, you know? With the best haircut ever. They always have the best haircuts ever. They can do it to themselves. It's incredible. If I had hair, I would go to a Dominican person to cut my hair. They just do the best job. Anyway, freedom of speech is pure BS. Okay? Just in case you guys are wondering. Okay? In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, screw your freedom. Screw your freedom. You know? This is what Macron had to say. Met with applause.
Because, I mean, free speech is a pure bullshit if nobody knows how you are guided through this so-called free speech, especially when it's to be guided from one hated speech to another hated speech. I just want to have a transparent road through these different speeches, and I want, by the way, to have a sort of public order. I want to avoid racist speech, hated speech, and so on. This is my. And the third one, because, I mean, free speech is a pure bullshit if nobody knows how you are guided through this so-called free speech.
Oh, man. Oh, man. When does this guy go? When does he go? Those other 3 million files, he's in those. He has to be. He has to be. He has to be. I bet those other 3 million files get Candace's case with Brigitte thrown out. That's how bad those files are. Those other 3 million? Oh, I bet. And then I saw Brigitte. Brigitte took this lady to the Mac. Lady reported micro penis. So anyway, that's what he had to say. That was just a quick thing I just had to throw out there. That's what they're saying. As the files drop, as there's slowly no accountability, some accountability here and there, they're also trying to tell you that your free speech is absolute BS. Pray for France, I guess, but he's probably talking to something that's worldwide. It's probably just a bunch of leaders throughout the world, and they're all just like, this is what I've been saying for years. I've been saying this for years. Are we going to lock them up yet or what? There's so many of them. Can we lock them up? Anyway, damn Bongino. Wow. There is a picture. I hope this doesn't show up. Let me just show. Okay, it doesn't show up. There's a picture right below this. And it's Dan Bongino. I can't even say it, but somebody has taken his head, okay, his bald head, okay, and they've switched it with something that also looks like a head. You picking up what I'm putting down here? It's disgusting. Just gross and hilarious. So I'm going to repost this so you guys can see it. I'm going to repost it. And what can I call it? I will just call it slop. I'm just going to name it slop. And if you check it out, it's just directly below this video. It's gross. So don't look at it if you don't like funny, gross stuff. Anyway, let's go. This is how the podcast went for the most part.
We're not gay, but we are in love. We are not gay, but we are in love. We're not gay, but we are in love. We are not gay, but we are in love.
That's nice. That's nice. That's pretty much how the whole podcast went. Basically, I don't really have to show you much else. It was basically just that for like a while. And it's nice to be in love and to not have it be about, intimacy. It's just platonic. That's a nice thing to have. I'm glad that they have that for each other. I really am. I think it's a great thing. Let's move on and listen to one of the clips. This is where they're talking about doing such a great job. We redacted the files. We paid $1.8 million to have a redaction team on the files. Dan signed off on the case potentially being closed. Cash is stopping people from looking in to Charlie Kirk, the investigation having foreign ties linked to it. I think we did a pretty good job. You know what? I think we did a damn good job.
I think you and I did a pretty good job. It really isn't hard when you focus them on the bad guys.
Well, it's not hard, Dan, as you know, as an 1811 and a former police officer. It's not hard to do the job you signed up for if you're allowed to do the job you signed up for. And President Trump and this administration backs law enforcement and gave us the resources at this FBI and gave us the autonomy in you and I in running this building to remove the red tape, to remove the unnecessary approvals, and to get 1,000 extra agents. That's what we did, Dan. We put 1,000 agents into the field from Washington, D.C. We permanently removed them from the National Capital Region and sent them across to every single field office. And what did that do? It allowed people to hit the streets and investigate crimes, and it led to this. And I know you've seen this, but this is 1 year in the making of true historic reductions in crime. And you're talking about a 20% reduction in murder rate. You're talking about a 32% increase in fentanyl seizures, enough to kill 150 million Americans.
That's interesting, because just yesterday I played a clip. Mike Davis was talking about how all the resources were being taken up because they were all worried about the redacted Jeff files. And they were up to their necks in redacted Jeff files. and Sharpie markers to redact things. They were just getting high off the fumes of Sharpies because it was just too much redacting going on, and nobody had any time to do anything else. Turns out that's not true. That's weird. Okay.
Dan, you're talking about 4 top 10 arrests in 1 year, but as soon as you left, I had to add 2 more. So now we're up to 6. I couldn't let it stand at 4. So in 1 calendar year, we arrested 6 of the FBI's most wanted fugitives in the world.
You know what I'm talking about. I was busting my ass on that one, but I was like,
I was like, I wanted that one bad. But I quit, right? You remember I just left. Yeah. You remember, right? I don't even think he quit. I just think they repositioned him. They're like, listen, we just need you in another place. I think they do that all the time. I think they do that with YouTubers constantly. I think there's a bunch of YouTubers where if you looked into it, there's actually one person. They're not on YouTube. They're banned from everything. They're on Rumble. And there was a case going on where there was a judge, and the judge was like, or the lawyer was like, has your client ever had any affiliation with the FBI as an informant or like, an undercover agent? And then his legal team moved to have the conversation off the record without anybody hearing it. And that's weird. That's weird. That person also told everybody to go into the Capitol, and they didn't get arrested. Weird.
So, but hey, good job. Once I saw it on the news, I was proud of you and the guys.
No, you laid it, and you gotta let you know those 6 go to you. You laid the groundwork for it. You work quietly behind the scenes. I'm just telling you. And look, I think the audience should know. I can't even memorize these. I look at these every day, and it's just hard to believe.
These guys are funny. They should do this weekly. Look at them. Look at that. Look at how Dan is in love. That's a beautiful thing. You know what? If he wanted to leave that job, get repositioned, into Project Mockingbird 2.0, 3.0, whatever they're at now, Mockingbird Pro Max, whatever it is. If this is the look that he has on his face, you know what? Go ahead, man. It's fine. Look at that. Just so elated with each other.
You work quietly behind the scenes.
Do you see that little hand gesture? He's like, you stop it. You stop. Come on. Stop it. Those 6 go to you, buddy.
You lay the groundwork for it. You work quietly behind the scenes. I'm just telling you. And look, I think the audience should know. I can't even memorize these. I look at these every day, and it's just hard to believe. 490% increase in those who prey upon our children. 490% increase in arrests by the FBI. The FBI under the last year, twice as many increase for violent crime from 24 to 25. Twice as many arrests. That's unbelievable, Dan. These numbers are truly historic. And that was the foundational tectonic shift you and I put into place in the FBI to let the cops go out there and be cops. And this is what happened.
See, I think like an episode ago, he looks so weaselly. A couple of episodes ago, people were talking about humility and me having humility. And I was like, I don't even really know if I do. But this is like the not humility. I'm guessing, right? This is the opposite of humility. Like somebody else is supposed to be saying this for them. Right? Like, am I wrong? Someone else is supposed to be saying, look at all the crazy, look at this little blue thing I have here. I don't even know what it is. A little blue card where could you imagine you keep a blue card with all of your achievements on it? What? Are you for real? You have a blue card that shows everything you've achieved, and you brought it to an interview, and you've shown it twice in 2 minutes? That's the opposite of humility. I'm guessing. Okay? Listen, we did a great job. We did a fantastic job. I know, Cash. It was such a good job. You want to go down on me? Only if you go down on me first. Okay. Like, whoa, easy, guys. Easy. Let somebody else say this stuff. Pay someone else to say this stuff. Do whatever you have to do. Why are you saying it? This is nuts, man. Someone said narcissistic and ego-driven. Something, you got to wait until, you got to wait. That's like me being like, guys, you don't even, like if I brought you my YouTube numbers every week, I was like, guys, you have to understand what a great job I've done here. You understand? I've done such great things. This was my first camera. You guys ever seen this thing? And now I got big cameras and big lights. Oh, man, I've done such a great job here. And my wife's pregnant for the second time. Oh, man, what a great job I've done. I've done some great things. My other kid's really cute, too. I did that because the kid looks like me. Oh, man, what a great job I've done. Oh, my God. It'd be crazy. It'd be nuts. You'd be like, what's going on here? What's going on with Coach? What's going on with Coach? He's a psychopath. Oh, now people are like, it's low again. Whatever, man. I'm only turning up a little bit and never again. That's it. I'm almost full with the audio here, guys. I can't turn it up that much. I can't turn it up crazily like that. Just yesterday, people were like, the audio's perfect. Now we got one guy. Someone said it's all damage control. Yeah, of course it's damage control. Dan Bongino going back to his podcast is their damage control. That's what I think. Obviously, I couldn't prove that. I mean, why wouldn't you go back to podcasting? I mean, honestly, he was making millions of dollars. He could go, even though people aren't watching nearly as much, he can go back to making millions of dollars. Like, why wouldn't you? So I believe that there is an incentive, just, business wise, to go back to podcasting, right? Especially if he can't get anything done in the FBI. But apparently they got so much done. So again, picture it like this. They've gotten so much done, right? They did so much stuff. People speculated, oh, Dan Bongino realized that he couldn't get things done. Well, Kash Patel is saying they got so much done. So why would he leave? You guys are doing more than the past people in your positions, more than the past two people. How many years that is? You've brought about real change. Your little blue card proves it. So why would you then leave? You're doing a great job. Move your wife over to where the headquarters are. Get an incredible condo with redacted Jeff money that nobody knows about, and get her, get your whole life moved over where the headquarters are. What are we talking about here? Why leave? Unless they were like, we need somebody to really speak highly of us. We need somebody to interview Kash Patel that's not Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan's probably going to ask some hard questions the next time he sits down with Kash Patel. Let's hear a little bit more of this this makeout session.
People have real opinions. I understand that. But I'm just telling you, I mean it from the bottom of my, sometimes broken heart, man. I did. I traveled around. I never heard anything but good news from people about the progress that was being made. Of course, there's a lot to fix. No one's suggesting everything's done. There's a lot more work to be done, as you know. I was explaining to the audience, in my first show, how when actors are at your level in the government, when people are principals and deputies and a cabinet level or cabinet kind of equivalent positions, everything's a level 10 decision, Cash. Yeah. A level 10 meaning there's a pardon the language, but a shitty decision and a shittier one. Because if there was a good decision to be made, someone else made it. And then when those decisions, that's every day. I know you know this because I would knock on your door and you'd be like, what now? And I'd be like, here we go again. Like something else will come up. But I just want to put into perspective for folks out there, when that decision can't even be made by me, it goes to you. When it doesn't go to you, it goes like to the president's desk. He's dealing with like level 11 decisions.
Yeah, it goes to Pam Bondi, actually. So I don't know why you would say that. You just override your boss. That's how it works. If you like what? I work at McDonald's, and when I can't figure out the fry machine, I actually get on the phone with the CEO, and I let him know, like, hey, there's something going on with the fries. I mean, the oil's a little darker than it should be. Is that how it works? Or do you go to your manager? What are you talking about? You have a boss. What do you say? What are they saying? It's just ridiculous, man. There is a video on my channel where I'm talking about how great Kash Patel's going to be. Oh, I made a video where he had laser eyes, and I was like, I made a thumbnail, he had the laser eyes, and I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be great. Are you kidding me? I took like a loose Joe Rogan clip just to have an excuse to talk about Kash Patel and what he's gonna bring to the table and who this guy was. You hoodwinked me. You hoodwinked me, man. You got me. You got me, man. Fine. You got me. You tricked me. It's all good. It's all good. Absolutely ridiculous. Bongino didn't trick me, though. I never thought that was a good thing. When I saw that he was doing it, I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Like, get someone else. Clearly get someone else. Actually get Candace Owens. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like usually it's a joke. Like, oh, make her director of the FBI. No. If she was the deputy director, like, that would be a better decision than Dan Bongino. I don't care what he's done in his past. But Brian Hartpole would have been a better decision. Brian Hartpole would have been like, listen, guys, we got 500% more mints, okay? There are more mints per capita per person throughout the United States of America, all right? Everybody has mints, and there's just mints flowing everywhere. I've given Angel the right to go to everybody's house. She has everybody's data. And when you run low on mints, Angel shows up, okay? With her husband named Angel and also her sons that are all named Angel, all right? They show up and they bring everybody mints. Spearmint, peppermint, winter fresh, anything you need. You understand? Even if you want mint leaves, we got mint leaves. I mean, this has been the best thing ever, right? And no, this is not a detonator in my pocket. It's mints. It's mints. No, I'm not going to show anybody. It would have been a better decision. Hands down. Anyway, let's keep going.
And that's the thing in D.C. is that's why the batting average isn't always going to be 1,000. There's no good call to be made or someone else would have made it. There's just really tough decisions where, there's a shit call and a shittier call. And listen, that's what we signed up for. That's how it rolls.
Look, yeah, these are difficult decisions, Dan. That's why you volunteered to jump back in. It wasn't just going to be, hey, we're going to do this job. It's going to be super easy. We're not going to have to make any hard decisions, and we're not going to have to combat a press corps that has largely been biased and full of inaccurate reporting. But we made those decisions collectively in the best interest of the nation. And if we hadn't, then none of this would be true. None of this would be possible. If President Trump had made the hard decisions to allow us and give us the resources that we need and to back the blue in law enforcement and to prioritize working with state and local authorities, then we wouldn't be able to do what we did. But you're right. We had a lot of hard decisions, and that comes with the territory of the job. But once you look outside of the cauldron of Washington, D.C., and this is one of the things that, I'm trying to remind myself of every day, outside of here, there is a different America than the one that lives in the national capital region. And I try to remind myself every day when making those difficult decisions that you talked about that we make on a daily basis, that we are making a decision collectively for the rest of America, not just for the minority of people that are living part-time in Washington, D.C., pulling the levers on Capitol Hill and such.
Absolutely ridiculous, And then Dan Bongino, of course, comes through because what happened is he did that interview and every comment was negative. Every single comment. I mean, it was terrible. He's like, I'm elated that my interview with Director Patel pissed off, still calls him Director Patel. I mean, just so lame. Director Patel pissed off all the right media people. I thoroughly enjoy watching you all rage out and claw at your faces. What does he think people do when he makes a terrible podcast? He thinks they claw at their faces? Why? Anyway, along with your daily burning sessions of me in effigy, thinks so much of himself, right? He thinks we're making an effigy of Dan Bongino to burn it? I don't think so, man. As I destroy your BS narratives. Oh, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's just destroying them. This is so nuts. It's like that picture, that picture of Steve Buscemi. And he's like, hello, fellow students. And he's like, has a skateboard and he has like a backwards hat. That's what him podcasting is like. He's like, hello, fellow podcasters who are independent and have no links to federal agencies. I too am one of you, and I'm doing great. I don't own 6% of Rumble. I just do very well on there because of my merits. Yes. Okay. All right. And he does. He owns part of Rumble. Is probably wrong, but I gently hope that all my shows moving forward cause you the same anguish and intestinal distress, respectively. Signs it with his own name. Just the oldest thing you could possibly do. There's nothing older that you can possibly do than signing a tweet with your name at the end. I mean, just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. And it's just funny. He's like, the same thing. Balix did the same thing. Balix was like, I don't even want to cover this, but since Kansas fans are attacking me so much, I'm just going to keep on going. And it's like, you blame it on us? You suck and you blame it on us. People didn't like you. They didn't like your show. That's just what happens sometimes. Oh man, I love that I pissed people off. What do you mean the right people in media? Like, all the comments were from regular people. Oh, it's just those doomers and, those people in media, it's just those people in media that had a problem with what I had to say. That's all it is. Me and Director Patel, it's like that meme where you see Principal Skinner. I relate everything to memes. You see Principal Skinner and he's like, is it possible that I've lost touch? And then the next frame is like, no, it's them that have lost touch. It's like, okay. Anyway, this guy said this. Bongino and Director Patel just went on air. The comment section exploded. People expected answers. Instead, they got a victory lap, vague, level 10 decisions, and zero clarity on what millions of people wanted explained. Perfectly said. That's exactly what people were expecting. They thought they would talk about the files. They thought they would talk about the redactions. They thought they would talk about Pam Bondi and her appearance in front of Congress. They thought they would talk about all these things. Meanwhile, the story keeps moving without Washington. Lex Wexner, what a name. Les Wexner testified under oath. Now he claims he was the victim. We're going to talk about that very soon. Zorro Ranch talks of searches, possible bodies. Abroad, UK, France, Prince just got arrested, reportedly taking steps the U.S. won't. Patel teased Antifa funding streams, but it's the same old line, just wait. And now, claims about Maxwell/Bezos ties resurfacing. So what is this really? Incompetence or managed damage control? It's definitely damage control. It's 100% damage control. That's what's going on right now. You can't, at a certain point, I say this all the time, at a certain point, you can't be this incompetent. I've said it with Turning Point. I've said it with politicians that I've seen over time, previous administration. You can even pose it to this administration as well. You can't be so incompetent that you're messing up all of these times. Like, you're not that incompetent. You know what people want to hear, and you're just not doing it. Pam Bondi's not crazy. You have to be a crazy person to be like, the Dow, she had somebody who wrote it down. The same way Anderson Cooper is like, and then he just reads a thing, and there's a teleprompter. That's what Pam Bondi was doing. Someone else gave her these points, and they said, you are to read this and not answer any questions. It's not like she's nuts. She's not out of her mind. You know what I mean? It seems that way, but she's not. That's why when she was like, the Dow is at if she wrote it herself, she'd be like, oh, this is the Dow part. It's at 50,000. She had to read it because it's not her own words. Every time she had to say something to somebody, she'd have to flip to a page. You think she had a binder this big? You think she put that together herself? That's crazy. That's crazy. And let me tell you something else. Do not update your phone. I don't know why. I'm just putting it out there. I have no idea why, but if he's saying this, I feel like we should do the opposite.
If you have an iPhone, critical public service announcement from the DB show. Update your iOS. Major update from Apple. They had some kind of spyware infiltration, some major attack. Make sure you update your phone. I did it this morning. Haven't seen from the other side the threats. It's a big deal. You can look it up. But there was some Apple spyware update. Some of the stuff they can do out there with this new technology is absolutely incredible. Make sure you update it.
I don't believe for a second. Not even for a millisecond do I believe this guy with these eyes who worked for the Bureau now telling me I have to update my phone because there's a serious, critical, major firestorm, nuclear, thermal attack that's happening. And if you don't update your phone, you're at risk. I don't believe it myself. That's just me. The second I heard him do it, because I already updated my phone. So I was pissed. I already did it. So I was like, because if I had seen this, I would have not updated it. But I did it like just 3 days before, Black-eyed Dan. Yeah, right? Just gerbil-eyed Dan just coming in, giving us the truth and justice, You wouldn't believe it. I don't know. I don't want to say too much about his appearance. He's fine. Looks like RoboCop. That's the last thing I'll say. Hairline like RoboCop. It's fine. Listen. That's it. That's all I'll say. Hairline like RoboCop. You know, shave it. Come to the dark side. You know, I shave my head every single day. Hairline like RoboCop. That's it. And I won't say anything else. I'm not going to be a mean person. You know, just looks like RoboCop from the first movie, right? Anyway, let's keep going. And I'm sure he's a great guy. I always like to preface it with that at the end. I'm sure he's a great guy. Sure, he's fantastic. I feel attacked. Oh, somebody has black eyes. Somebody's name is Black Eyes. RoboCop hairline. Listen. Let's not dwell on it too much, but you know exactly what I mean when I say it. You're gonna make me pull up a picture of RoboCop. That's nuts, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous that you would make me pull up a picture of RoboCop with no mask on. I mean, why would you guys make me pull up a picture of RoboCop like this? It's disrespectful. It's silly, you know. It's just not necessary. It's just not necessary, right? I don't know why you guys would make me do that. Just ridiculous, quite honestly. I mean, now we all have to look at RoboCop. I didn't plan for that to happen, but you guys made me do that. I don't know why you made me do that, but I mean, it's your fault. This is on you, right? This is immature, guys. This is immature. There's no need for this. Okay? There's no need for us to be doing this. You guys made me do that. I didn't want to do that, but you guys brought it up. So now you got to understand what I'm saying. Okay? Anyway, like I said, I'm sure he's a great guy. Let's keep going here. I don't know why people made me do that. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, I think he's a great guy. Right? And then just for the comparison, all right? I'm not wrong, right? Anyway, just shave the rest of your head. That's just how it should go. At a certain point, guys, you guys just shave your head. Shave your head and find yourself a nice hat. You know? You find yourself a nice hat. I have like 20 different hats, guys. I got some over there. I got some downstairs. You got to I shave it every morning. And I'm so glad I did. You know? I'm so glad I did. I've been shaving my head for 21 years now. Every single day. I just shave it off. Whatever, man. Whatever. Style my hair. You think I'm going to take time to style my hair? It's crazy talk. I don't have time. But if I did have hair, I would have it like Thor. That's the hair I would have. And I'd put it in a man bun. That's right. Okay? I don't care how you feel about man buns. I would be a guy with a man bun. Oh, I'd be a cool guy with a man bun. Hair that drops down to the middle of my back. Are you kidding me? You either do that or you shave your head. There's no in between. You either look like Tarzan or Thor or me, and you shave your head. Pick one. Those are the 3 styles that are acceptable. That's it. Anyway, that's my opinion on hair. But what do I know about hair, you know? I sound like a crazy person. I don't know anything about hair, you know. I have no clue. Anyway, let's get to the key intel. This is key intel, guys. Oh, man, I can't believe I didn't know about this. This is key intel, guys. Breaking news. Just exposed the mainstream media of planning to release a phony hit piece on the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, this week, claiming her fans are paid or bots. I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj. Really? You should go through this guy's tweets. You're a fan of Nicki Minaj? Okay. I've seen the things. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj, and I'm not a bot. I wasn't paid to support Nicki. I stand with Nicki Minaj. What is going on with Nicki Minaj? Listen, I like Nicki Minaj. I like the music. I think she's great. But this weird AstroTurf thing that they're doing, you know, all Prince Andrew got arrested. The files, there's so many and so many things developing, right? I heard in one of the files, Bill Clinton threatened Vanity Fair because they were going to come out with a story about him. There's so much, And these guys who are like hard into the conservative movement, they just have their feet buried very deep. Their heads are also buried inside of their, no, I'm not even gonna say that. Inside the sand. That's what I was gonna say. I was gesturing like this, but I was gonna say their heads are buried in the sand. That's what I was gonna say. And they're just like, the files don't even exist. You know, if it has anything to do with the now pres or anybody who stands next to him, like Howard Lutnick or whatever, it just doesn't exist. La 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 la. You know, one finger in the ear, one finger on the phone, walk away like Mikey McCoy. That's exactly what they're choosing to do. And they're bringing up stories about Nicki Minaj. I mean, and I like Dom, but this is nonsense.
Emergency announcement. They're getting ready to set up Nicki Minaj this week, most likely by tomorrow or by the latest on Friday. Politico, a journalist named Jason, reached out to me to ask me if I would be willing to speak with them about Nicki Minaj. They sent me an email asking me if I'm willing to talk about Nicki Minaj being pushed online by bots and campaigns, and requesting for information on if I got paid to.
I mean, just who absolutely cares about this? And then I'm not even showing you the top, but Balix Tones writes, this is key intel. Balix, who didn't want Candace to focus on Mitch Snow. Balix, who said that we should be focusing on Cash Patel, not allowing an investigation into foreign ties into what happened with Charlie Kirk. Balix Tones says that this story today, with the files released and the investigation of Charlie Kirk going on, this is the key intel. I mean, just crazy. A shout out from Balix Tones is like, it's like the kiss of death nowadays. Because it's like, you know what's going on when you see Balix jump in with you. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, oh no. You know, it's like your drunk uncle rolls up and you're like, you were cool like 10 years ago, man. But man, you smell like Bacardi right now, you know? You just reek like Bacardi right now, you know? And you're just in my face, just Bacardi and salami on your breath. You're just way too close and you're grabbing my neck and just, I love you, but man, oh man, I wish you weren't here right now. You know, it's that kind of feel. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe everybody is concerned about Nicki Minaj. Alex's Fredo. Wow. That's for someone who loves, I grew up around some Italians, couple Italians who like took care of me and they made me watch all the movies. That is such a big insult. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That's a huge insult. You don't do that. That's rude. That's rude. He is like Fredo. It's exactly what he's like. He's like, who's Michael Corleone? Who's Michael? I think it would be Ian. Because Ian's like the new like heavy researcher, willing to call things out, you know? And it's just Ian sitting there in a suit. And he's just staring at Fredo. Fredo's just like, hey, you know, deep state. You know, I figured out who's in the deep state. Hey, what's going on, Mike? And Ian just grabs him by the face. Mwah! Gives him a big kiss. Balix starts running away. Oh, I gotta go. I thought you said you didn't know who that guy was. Then he overhears Balix talking about how he knows who the guy was. And that's it, you know. Bring him on the boat. Just bring him on the boat. It's sad. Anyway, that is the key information going on. And all of these weird, heavy, conservative things, platforms, if you want to call them that, they're like, oh man, the Democrats and Rock Nation are trying to come for Nicki Minaj. You know, is at the bottom of the barrel incel who likes attacking successful women. It's like, what is this? What are you guys even concerned about? Do you know that the file, maybe they don't know that the files dropped. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea, but I think this is just odd. You even have Gunther, who is so, listen, I'll say Gunther's an entity. I don't even know if Gunther's a real person or not, right? Huge on X, but I don't even know if he's actually real. I have no idea. You know, profile pics has never changed. Never seen a picture of the guy or anything. He could be real, could not be real. I don't know. But this guy, who's so conservative, is now like, grab your popcorn, liberals are about to receive a piece of Nicki Minaj's mind. What are you talking about? And Nicki Minaj is posting a picture of Chucky, which I think is funny. I think that's very funny. I haven't seen Chucky in a long time. Still terrifying. You know, they're about to get a piece of her mind. Like, what's happening? This is like this weird AstroTurf thing. Gunther, super conservative. These are the same people. When they saw Meg the Stallion performing with Kamala Harris, they were like, this is disgusting. Nicki Minaj does the same stuff. She was doing it before Megan the Stallion. Megan the Stallion's copying her. What? What's going on? They're all acting like, well, I like her. When she twerks, it's sophisticated. Let me tell you something. When Meg the Stallion does this twerking, it's just unruly. Sitting there with Kamala Harris, it's absolutely un-American. With Nicki Minaj, when her butt cheeks clap together, it is so empowering. They don't like her. Like, I like Nicki Minaj. I think she's one of the best female rappers ever. I think she's great. I think she's great. She's from Trinidad. I have a Caribbean background as well. So I know people from Trinidad. They're really cool people. But at the same time, it's like, you guys don't really think she's like the next big thing. It's just weird, And it's clear what's going on. And I can say it. Don't worry. Don't worry, all my white friends. I can say it. They're just trying to make sure they get the black vote. They need the black female vote. They've always needed the black female vote. It's the vote that is the hardest to turn for Republicans. So they're trying to get Nicki Minaj because she has a giant, maybe, I'm just throwing a number out there, maybe 70% of black women love Nicki Minaj in America. Maybe. Like, that's huge. If she could get them to turn, if she could get them to vote the way that she says to vote, that would mean that they would win midterms. And, that's what matters most. It's not about the files and who cares about Charlie being dead. It's all about midterms, right? So that's clearly what they're doing. And how do I not call it out? I don't know. What do you want? I don't want to see Gavin as president, but
Calling all barbs. This is Brendan Strock from the Walkaway campaign with a very special message to all Nicki Minaj fans. We see so many of you out there sharing posts right now talking about how you are walking away from the Democratic Party. And congratulations on making a really good decision, by the way. We all walked away from the Democratic Party too. And we at Walkaway like to reward good decisions. So we are giving away $1,000 to...
It's clear what's going on, right? Like, you heard everything I just said. And then I play that video. You think I'm making it up? They're just trying to cater to those people. They just want to convert them as voters. That's it. That's all it is. They don't really love Nicki Minaj. I probably like Nicki Minaj more than all these conservatives saying that they love Nicki Minaj. Probably. I actually have downloaded one of her albums before. Okay. It was not the best, but I still did. I'm not quite a barb, but I'm close. I'm pretty close. Don't like being called a barb. Call me a Ken. You can call me a Ken. Not a barb, I'm a Ken. Let's keep going here. Let's move on to the files, guys. Because it wasn't just Prince Andrew. There's some weird stuff going on. Which one is this? Which one is this? Oh, yeah, this is this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. Jean-Luc Brunel? I don't know if that's Jean-Luc Brunel. I'm just going to call him Gene. I'll call him Brunel at some point. But apparently, Epstein's top model recruiter was secretly negotiating with prosecutors in 2016. This has been revealed in the emails, obviously, to testify against Redacted Jeff in exchange for immunity. Okay, he had photographic evidence. It was naming names. Okay, federal prosecutors notes one of Redacted Jeff's BFs, I guess best friends or boyfriend. I don't know. Jeff was a freak, right? Brunel has helped get girls. He is wanting to cooperate. Then Redacted Jeff found out. He emailed attorney Kathy, is that Rumeller, saying that Brunel was headed to the U.S. Attorney's Office and that someone had asked for $3 million, so that Gene would not go in. $3 million so he would not go in. Okay, so they were offering him money? And somebody had asked for $3 million so he would not go in. Interesting. So they were trying to bribe him. But he knew he would go to jail. So was on the phone with Redacted Jeff's lawyer the next morning. Brunel went dark. Redacted Jeff stayed free for 3 more years. The attorney, did he pop up? Yeah, he popped up, passed away. The attorney, David, says the collapse set us back a couple of years. We know from our lawsuits that there were more than 50 girls that were caught in rush hour traffic after this. Epstein passes away in his cell. Brunel caught at Paris airport in 2020 trying to flee to Senegal. In 2022, he's found passed away in his cell. The two men were at the center of the same rush hour traffic ring. Both face justice, both dead, and that's it. And this was the guy, apparently. I didn't know this. I didn't know any of this. So this guy passed away. He was naming names, right? And it's weird. It's so wild because it goes back to that Erica Kirk thing where, well, I shouldn't say it goes back to the Erica Kirk thing, but my mind was triggered by what I was reading about Erica Kirk and the relationship she had with this Jillian girl, and the fact that Erica was in these pageants, Victoria's Secret, Les Wexner, he had Victoria's Secret. It's like they have this thing where they almost have these menus of sorts for people to check out, you know, and it's through the pageantry, it's through the modeling agencies, because you take photographs, which is what Erica sent this young girl to do, to take photographs. You take all these photographs, and then it turns out a guy like this, and I was just saying it before, I was saying like, that's what it sounds like to me. But then you have a guy like this who was actually doing that. He was actually taking the time to recruit models. So wouldn't they recruit pageant girls as well? I don't know. Makes sense to me. I mean, what's a pageant girl? It's just a model who has to talk sometimes, right? Right? Not making it up. Anyway, just wanted to show you that guy. I'd never heard of him before. Jump scare. Got you. Whoever zoomed in on this picture, shout out to them. Thank you so much for doing that. I have gotten much joy from that picture. We all know who that is. That's Don Huffines, and he is the person who bought Zorro Ranch. Lawmakers decided that they were going to actually put into play a truth committee, is what they're calling it. So it's a truth committee that is actually going to have subpoena power. I'm just going through my clips here. Has subpoena power, and apparently what's going to happen to people, possibly Duff or Don, is there could be prosecution based on testimony. Now, he doesn't seem like he's wrapped up in it all. I haven't heard about him in the files, but he does have the property. The property hasn't been searched. People are alleging that there's remains on the property. He hasn't dug them up himself or even turned to law enforcement and said, please do that because I need this place to be for Jesus. And I feel like I can't have remains of people who died tragic deaths on the property. Could you please help me out? He never did that, but he did start construction the second that committee was brought up, like I told you. And now there's some more stuff going on with Duff. Duff has the resources, connections, etc. Even tips that there's bodies buried as the owner. Why didn't he actually look into it? Like I said, now Grayson County has actually decided that they're going to distance themselves from Don. We are a conservative group located about an hour north of Dallas. We supported Huff Fines in 2022 in his 2022 campaign for governor. We couldn't be more disgusted with the turn of events. They're now telling our followers to vote for anybody but him for Texas comptroller. So that's starting to happen. People are starting to distance themselves from him. But it's not just that. Apparently, what's starting to happen, Diligent always plays this music on his stuff. I love yesterday that Barron in his podcast was like, he doesn't like when people play background music. I could not agree more. Just talk. That's all you need. You don't need the music. Just talk. That's it. People are, listen, if you're looking for a club when you come here, you hit the wrong place. I mean, I know Black Poppy pops up every once in a while, you know, but I mean, you know, sometimes you get the burr, 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 burr. I get it. But you don't need constant music. Imagine I had music playing the whole time just now. I guess you'd kind of like it because I have great taste in music. But, you know, some of the time you wouldn't like it. Duff Huffines. Companies. These companies are scrubbing websites in the wake of the Zorro Ranch ownership revelation. It appears they are trying to scrub Russell Huffines, which is his son, links to this is either a very black name or a very white name. I've never seen this name in my life. Trammell Crow Jr. Trammell. Am I saying that right? Trammell is his name. Okay. Crow Jr., who Russell worked with. Crow is now facing a class action rush hour traffic lawsuit with over 100 victims. I mean 100. I mean, that's like Jimmy Savile territory. They also scrubbed, and so that's like Redacted Jeff territory. They also scrubbed the conversation article between U.S. Rep. Thomas Massie and Duff Huffines, who endorsed Don that year. If everything is on the up and up with the Huffines, why the scrub? Now, it's very interesting. Thomas Massie was actually following Diligent Dennison. And when Diligent started talking about that fact, Thomas unfollowed him. Now, Diligent doesn't leave any stone unturned. Even if you're friends with him and you're in public office, you're in a position of power, he's still going to examine what's going on with you and your links to things. And it was very odd that Thomas Massie didn't just say, yeah, look into me, nothing's wrong. But instead, he's like, oh, you're barking up the wrong tree, and he unfollowed him. And I think he might have blocked him. So that was very interesting to see. I didn't expect that from Thomas Massie, especially because he, better than anybody, should know that everybody has to get looked into and everybody has to get questioned, especially right now. People in gov, people in tech, people who are the elites, they all have to get looked into a little bit. And you did endorse Don Huffines. And obviously, I guess it was before. Let me just read this again. Was it before? I don't know. That year. Was it in 2022? I don't know why 2022 came to my head. But again, now I don't know whether or not he did this endorsement when this guy had bought Zorro Ranch or before he bought Zorro Ranch, which he has renamed, of course, San Rafael Ranch. It is no longer the Zorro Ranch. And now this is Diligent just showing us the scrub that's happening. He's using the Wayback Machine. That's what he's indicating right here. Let's play this a little bit. I do not need the music. Page not found. All right, he's circling there. Let's slow this down. What's going on here? Why? It's very interesting. These guys who have these voices, like Diligent can talk. He talks all the time in spaces, but they release these videos where they don't say anything. I find it so weird. But I guess that's how X works. So he's showing you that the page is not found. He's showing you that it's for this company, right? And it's for that website. That website is Group. You know what? Let me see that. What website is that? It says Group and then Lore? Oh, no. Hest.group/tor-team is the website. So they've taken him away from there. This is the website when you go into the Wayback Machine. So there has been a serious scrub of everything. Before you would find Don, you would find his son, you would find Danny Davis, you'd find these gentlemen here. And that was in November of 2025, you would find those people. Now, there's nothing. Right? Sorry, this page cannot be found. This is making Texas a lighthouse for liberty. And he is showing us the website, how the page cannot be found. This is huffinesliberty.com/news that they have this part at. So there is a scrub going on, clearly. Why are they scrubbing everything right now? Could something possibly be about to happen? So this is him showing you in November 3rd, 2022. That same page where we just saw nothing actually had something before. Fireside chat with Thomas Massie. So it's almost like, did Thomas Massie request that? Who actually knows? So President Don Huffines and Congressman Thomas Massie, if you can't see, that's what that says right down there, have an engaging discussion about liberty, serving citizens, and what does that say? Reining in big government. So, yeah, they did have a conversation. It was in 2022. I think he bought the ranch in 2023, maybe around 2022. So, I mean, why scrub it? Maybe at Massie's request. I don't know. But it seems like if it was before he bought the ranch, then Massey didn't really do anything wrong. I mean, congressmen, at the end of the day, even the best congressmen, they're shills, right? They'll sit down with anybody, and they just want to talk about the things they want to talk about, and they want to get votes, and they're all like that. He's an honest guy. He seems like a really honest guy. And honestly, he was on Tucker Carlson's podcast, and he talked about Philadelphia very extensively and their control of things in America. And his wife passed away like 3 days later. It was very odd. So I don't know. I've always thought this guy, he's been fighting the fight. So I don't see why they would even need to do that. Let's go to this website now. This is Huff, and this is like 3 different companies we've touched on so far. So they're scrubbing all of these companies for some reason. HuffFindsCommunity.com/whoweare/meet the team. Now this is the only thing that's there. This is what is there right currently. It's just a big address and then an email here. He's showing the website, of course. And then I guess they're going to show, boom, this is what it used to look like. So there has been a big scrub. This is July 22nd, 2025. This is what the website used to look like. They've taken away pretty much everything. Hold on. That said Philip Huff Finds. Oh, is that how it ended? Philip Huff Finds. Nate, Brittany. So for some reason, they're just doing a huge scrub. Oh, yeah. Don has a twin brother. Isn't that crazy? I found that out the other day. So Don has a twin brother who looks just like him because they're identical twins. So when you see this, or sorry, not this, you see this, there's 2 of them, just so you know. Just so you know. Double the fun, right? So there you go. So there's a scrub going on. So basically there's panic going on in San Rafael Ranch, name it properly, formerly known as Zorro Ranch. There's a little bit of a panic going on there. Let's just get into this. Breaking Points. Sagar from Breaking Points. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Breaking Points, but I do like Sagar from time to time, depending on what he's talking about. And he was on Flagrant, and they had this discussion.
Is we've seen a number of files that were redacted specifically against the law. And I think it's interesting to think, last time I was here, this was before the Epstein Files Transparency Act was passed.
Right.
The Epstein Files Transparency Act specifically says redactions should only apply in the case of national security and or victim identification. And in multiple instances now, we've seen that they have redacted the names of co-conspirators, of names of very powerful individuals. So if we want,
real
one
quick,
example.
could you give an example of national security?
National security is a very interesting one because that's one that's really up to the DOJ. Oh, sorry, there's one third one, which is active investigation. So one of the reasons why this is really important is that there's currently, this is from Thomas Massey, a theory that because of this file release, they are starting actively investigating a number of these cases, which they can now drag on for a long period, let's say up to 3 years until Donald Trump is out of office, to make sure that none of the other information comes to light. So even the Files Transparency Act gave them outs, but even within the outs that they had multiple cover-ups, right? So one of the more egregious example is Les Wexner. Let's go to co-conspirators, Griffin. Let's put the Wexner cover up. So this is the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche. And here Thomas Massey called him out where he found a redacted piece inside of the file labeled co-conspirator. Thomas Massey says this is a well-known retired CEO. DOJ should unredact this. Why did they redact it? Let's go to the DOJ's explanation. He says the document you cite has numerous victim names. We have unredacted Wexner's name from the document. His name appears in the file thousands of times. DOJ is hiding nothing. However, that document did not have any victim name on it. Not one. And specifically, they decided to redact co-conspirator here. Wexner, for those of you who haven't watched our previous episode, is the source, and some would speculate, the potential originator of the Epstein mythology. So this is a person who signs over power of attorney. He never fully explains his decades-long relationship with Epstein. He gives him the house where there eventually is some financial makeup right here in New York City, the infamous Epstein townhouse for tens of millions of dollars, the largest townhome literally in the entire city. The
home is frequented by all these.
The home is frequented by Israeli prime ministers and all of these other individuals for meetings and financiers and Prince Andrew, and people are staying. I mean, it's a real destination for the Epstein class. Yeah, for all of these, multi-billionaires.
Yes.
Full credit to Ro Khanna, the congressman. He's the person who coined that client.
So the reason that I show you this is because we're actually going to talk about Les Wexner, because he had to actually testify. And that's what happens when you have people take off the redactions. When the redactions are taken off, the people can actually be prosecuted. Well, at least questioned and have to testify in front of Congress. That could lead to prosecution. Maybe. I feel like it'd be really hard to arrest me if I had $8 billion. That's just me. I feel like I'd have ways around that, you know? I feel like I would. Like, you know, dumpster trucks filled with cash. You know what I mean? Just brand new dumpster trucks filled with cash. And I just back it up into someone's house and I say, you can shovel it all out if you want. And then when they get inside, it's a dump truck and I press that button, crushes them. Kidding. But let's keep going here. So now when we've looked into this whole thing, Les, he was named hundreds of times, thousands of times. I don't know if it's thousands. It might be 2,000, which, come on, that's not that much. You know, he's just above Bannon, just above Bannon. But he did give Jeffrey power of attorney, which means that he just had access to any bank account, everything. He just had control of his entire life. I feel like that wouldn't happen if you were just naive, because that is what Les is saying. Les is just saying, I was naive. You can see the statement right here. I was naive. I was foolish and gullible and to put any trust into redacted Jeff. He was a con man. And while I was conned, I had done nothing wrong and have nothing to hide. That's very interesting. I'm just saying, I feel like, I know we don't like to credit these people, but once you make $8 billion, you're kind of smart a little bit, just a tad, you know some things, but for you to get conned to this extent, I mean, the only way you get conned to the point where you're giving someone power of attorney and control over everything and you're giving them a $50 million house and stuff like that is if they have a bunch of stuff on you. I would think that they would have to have an enormous amount of information on you for you to just give up that type of money, or give up that type of money, give up that type of control. I don't know, man. It just doesn't make any sense. And there's no explanation for the relationship. Just he's a con man. A con man that you've known for decades? What? How? How does that happen? How do you know a con man for decades? And you only realize that you were naive and foolish when you have to testify in front of Congress. When you have to testify under oath, all of a sudden you realize, you're like, man, I was conned. Yeah, I was conned because he told me we would never get caught and nothing would ever happen. So this is like, I guess I was just naive. I figured we were scot-free the whole time. I figured when, Bill, Hillary, me, everybody was around the pentagram and we were just doing all this stuff. I thought we'd be good. We summoned the demon. We allowed the demon into our houses, into our bodies. And I thought we would all be good once we did that. I don't really understand. I mean, we offered, quote unquote, up so many people to these demons. They're all on Zorro Ranch now. We've offered up so many people, goats and chickens and whatnot. I just thought we would just never get caught. I am a billionaire, for God's sakes. I just thought we would be fine. But I see now I was naive and foolish. Absolutely amazing. So this is
the House Oversight Committee. Members of it are going to Ohio tomorrow to speak to the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. That's Les Wexner. His name had been in the files, was redacted in one piece, then unredacted last week after Thomas Massie had called it out. He had a long financial and personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He's denied wrongdoing. What information are you hoping to gain from him in this deposition?
What was his financial relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Point blank, did he ever abuse young girls? And did he know of other people who were abusing girls? How many times did he visit the island? How did Epstein make his money? So he has a lot to answer for, but it's not just him. My view is every single person who has emails showing that they visited the island, especially after Epstein was a convicted, should be coming before the Congress and answering questions and be investigated. And the Justice Department should start a special prosecution investigatory committee into this issue. I mean, I get texts from survivors. I got one today with a name of someone in the file saying, what's happening? Send this to justice. Why aren't they doing anything? The survivors didn't just want these names out there. They wanted action. They want investigations. They want accountability. And it's happening in so many other countries.
Yeah, they don't want to die. You need the person who you're ratting on to die. You know, it's not even ratting. I mean, you're just saying what happened. But you need that person to go to jail. Did I say die? I meant go to jail. I really did. So, sorry if I messed that up. But yeah, you need that person to go to jail and be locked up for a long time so they can't get to you, obviously. And it is going on in other countries. It actually is. And I know it seems weird because it doesn't go on here at all, but it really does. Now, apparently, this girl is saying exactly what I've been talking about, that victims said for years that Victoria's Secret was used to recruit girls. It makes perfect sense. And why not? And again, he used to own it. I don't know if he owns it anymore, but you would obviously use, and again, allegedly, maybe, perhaps, why, if Victoria's Secret could be used, why couldn't Miss Universe, Miss USA, why couldn't those be used the exact same way? It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's a catalog that's built up. And then these very rich people, I mean, like, what do you even have to do? Somebody could send you this thing, but you could just go to the Instagram. Someone could just give you a list of names. They're all Victoria's Secret. And now you're just going through that. You know, even on this, I'm not going to actually show it, but even on, which post was it? Let me see. There was something talking about Larry Fink's dad. Or sorry, Larry Fink's son. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. Joshua Fink, son of BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, was dating a model whose visa was controlled by MC2, a modeling agency funded by Redacted Jeff and ran by that Jean Burnell person who was later charged with rush hour traffic, right? So it's like, it was a thing that was going on. To what extent? You know, you really have to think about that. Again, we all know who used to own, I think it was Miss Universe. I think the now Prez used to own Miss Universe. Or no, I think it was Miss USA. He used to own it. What was he doing? Like, he owned it at the time where he was friends with Redacted Jeff. So what was going on there? And listen, there's been nothing said to be going on there. It just makes you think as you start seeing this more and more. And this is coming from someone that really supports the now Prez. I did, really. I mean, you know, hoodwinked, just hoodwinked over and over again, you know? See, I'm not in jail. There's Jamie coming out. We'll get to the super chats. Jamie's in the super chats, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, brace yourselves. Brace yourselves for when Jamie pops up. I just want to see what they talk about here really quick. Nancy Mace is the one who has pretty much directed her attention to the agency, and she wants the agency to step up and give over all records. I don't think they're going to do it, but we'll see. I think here they're talking about Zorro Ranch.
Epstein for money unless he releases that information. What's crazy is that sender, we don't know what happened to them. Are they alive? That sender's details have been redacted.
So, okay, two things. Number one, I want to go look at that document. I've not seen that document on Redacted to see who that is. Number two,
the document that they're talking about is the one that specifies, it's basically someone anonymous because they're redacted. And they're saying they have proof that there are actual remains on Zorro Ranch. And they're basically asking somebody, hey, do you want this information? If you do, contact me. If you don't, just don't answer. And that's basically it. And then they just went completely dark. And now Nancy Mace is like, I haven't seen that document. Which I guess is believable, you know, like how do you go through 3 million? Is it 3 million documents? I guess, whatever. But it's a very easy answer when you're just like in an interview, right?
I hesitate. Anything 2019 or later, there's a lot of crazy stuff in there. And it seems to be around about 2019. I zoomed in on that. It looks like that's an email from 2019. A lot of information after 2019 is just nuts. Like, Ron DeSantis and I are mentioned in something somewhere. So like I'm on a list, right? And I'm like, I didn't even know who Ron DeSantis was in 2008 or have never met Jeffrey Epstein, you know? So I would be real hesitant. The newer it is, the less likely that it is. But I'd want to see if there are any
The newer it is, the less likely it is. See, this is what I mean with these guys. She's supposed to be one of the good ones. And that's what she's saying. The newer it is, the less likely it is. What does that even mean? What are you talking about? What? If it's new and it involves me, it's probably just not true. So disregard all of that. But I would love to see that document if you could send it to me. Don't you have all the files unredacted? What are you talking about? If you could send me that, please. Send me the redacted version because I don't want to look up the non-redacted version. I don't want any of that information. I'm not going to tell any of you guys any of the information anyway. Man, they're all in it, man. And that's exactly what George means when he says it's a big club. Big club, man. I don't know. It's just crazy. Oh, Coach Colin clips. Description leads to 404. Don't worry, I'll fix it. I probably put in the wrong address. I don't know. Also, you can search Google. It helps more if you actually search Google. Right? Search Google. It helps more. Many prayers. What's going on? Can't believe I overslept and missed this live. Just wanted to show some love. Also, if you could add me to your prayers, health, I need it. Oh, man, I didn't realize that happened. Fleet, so sorry about that. Definitely pray for you. Definitely keep her in your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. Health is a scary thing when you don't know if you're going to have it completely. I didn't see that. Seeing it now. Thank you for everybody writing prayers in there. So making it known. Definitely in the prayers. I pray every day, so you're definitely in the prayers. And I hope whatever it is gets better. But also we're on the same Discord, so we'll be able to speak there. Fleet is in the secret Discord. There's a secret one with creators and stuff. Yeah. I hope whatever it is gets better. I really do. As was said to me by this old man that I used to work for, he would always say, from my mouth to God's ears, we pray that you will be all right. Yeah, did not know. Thank you for writing it so many times, guys. Thank you so much. I wouldn't have seen it till the end if I had no idea. But also, back to Nancy Mace. She's terrible. She's great, but she's terrible. They all have their streak of terrible. There's also a doctor. I should just show you this. I don't want to say too much. Let me just not say too much. But there's this doctor, right? This guy. Apparently, Epstein was like using this doctor, right? So anytime there was a lady that was injured somehow, with all the party. Whoa, I froze. If you guys see me froze, am I frozen right now? What's going on here? I looked at myself on the screen. I see myself frozen. Oh no. Why am I frozen? Reconnected successfully. Now it's orange. Have I been freed from the frozen place? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to tell me. Somebody said I lagged. Oh, man. What on earth just happened? Right after we did the prayers? Come on. That's terrible. What is going on? Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody see me? Right as I'm about to talk about this doctor too, huh? Absolutely ridiculous. So now it says 0 dropped frames. Did it like disconnect? Did YouTube disconnect? Let me look here. It says that it's still going. The stream is still going. So am I still going? So the chat is frozen. Can anybody see me at all? What is going on? I have to actually ask my wife now. Can you guys see me? I hear running. It's not my wife. There's no way she's running. Honey, can you see me or am I frozen? Question mark. I don't understand what just happened. I want to disconnect it. That's just terrible. That's the worst thing we could have to do. Come on. We're almost heading home to the super chats. Are you kidding me? We got to read the super chats right now. How on earth? So that's moving, but I'm not. Is that what you're telling me right now? Are you serious? No way. No way. Talking about Lex, right? Shouldn't have been talking about Lex. Let's just check it out here. Somebody said, whoa, you lagged. I have to just verify because I'm not seeing anything in the chat or anything. Let me check here. Serious? Oh, okay. So you guys can see me. Audio is good. We hear you. All right. On my side, I'm completely frozen. Wait, what? Let's just check it out. Oh, the audio's good. Verify because I'm not seeing anything in the chat or anything. That's crazy. So you guys can hear me, but I'm frozen. Oh, that is so annoying. That is so annoying. I'm just not moving. Oh, come on, technology. Right when you think technology is supposed to be exactly where it is, you know? You know, we have robots that are taking our jobs, but we can't just have me moving throughout the whole thing. You know how crazy that is? Does the screen switch when I switch the screen? Doesn't even switch. You're frozen, can't hear you. Yes, all good. Somebody said all good. That's wild. So this is just, if somebody said it's all good, you know, then for sure I will, the pic, what did somebody say? Hear you still frozen. The pics you showing are okay. That's nuts. Sound but frozen. Restart webcam. I don't have a webcam. That's the thing. If I disconnect it, if I disconnect right now, I will disconnect from the stream. And if I disconnect the camera right now, then what if I turn it on and off? What if I turn it on and off? Dare I try this, ladies and gentlemen? Because then this might go away. I don't want to go away. Because the pics are fine. Let me throw the chat up here. Let me throw the chat up. Well, the chat's not even going on my end. That's the thing that's killing me right now. The chat on my end's not even moving. Oh, so annoying. So annoying. All right. Let's just get into the super chat. We got everything. You got everything. We're back. Chat is running. Let's keep going here. Dare you. Dare me? You dare me to start that camera and start it up again? You have to reboot. Just talk, coach. We can hear you. Unplug the camera, plug it back in. You know what? Since I'm frozen, I might as well try it. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. We are going to unplug and replug. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Let's see what happens. Did it work? Nope. Didn't do anything. Here, let me just plug this out. And plug it back in. Anything? Nope. All right. Let's get to the super chats, I guess. But you guys said you're seeing the images, right? That's what I've heard. You guys are actually seeing these images, but just I'm sitting there with my mouth open. And I wish I could at least got a smile. Did something, you know what I mean? Instead, that happens. Just show your other screen. What other screen? What are you talking about? Oh, no, that doesn't work. What are you talking about? Anyway, here, let me see. Main camera. Boop, boop. Nah, there is no other screen, bro. Okay, Baron. I know this is so barren right now. This is so barren of me right now. Device manager, cam, disable, re-able. Okay, device cam. All right, you're saying to disable and then re-enable. How do you do that? I go like that. Let's see. Let's learn something today from people in the chat. Teach me something here, chat. You said disable it, re-enable it. Right? Hold, please. Hold, please. Feds are watching. Oh, no. Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, my gosh. Don't say that. Let's check out the properties. I can deactivate and reactivate. Boom. Deactivate. React. Oh, shout out to whoever said that. Good job. Good job. Good job, whoever said that. Thank you so much. And I'm not going just to the super chats. I got more stuff to talk about. Okay? I want to talk about more stuff. There's more file stuff. Want to talk about Lex or Les? I always call him Lex because he's like an evil billionaire. So I always think Lex Luthor, right? Anyway, let's jump in here. Absolutely ridiculous. Can't believe that happened. Anyway, I mean, that's worse than this. That's worse than me standing up right now. You guys see that I'm not even wearing pants, you know? Nothing worse than that. And you know what? Since you froze me here, I'm going back to this doctor. This doctor was being used by Redacted Jeff. When somebody would get injured, when someone would get hurt, they would fly across an ocean to this guy and he would stitch them up. There was actually one instance where he stitched somebody up. They had like 54 stitches in their forehead or something like that. He would stitch them up and not ask any questions, apparently. Now this guy's mentioned in the files. Seems like a pretty dirty guy, in my opinion. And let's play it. Let's play some of it at least.
Mount Sinai's director of transgender medicine and surgery, Dr. Jess Ting, was probably one of convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's most important cleanup guys. He used his medical license and position at Mount Sinai Hospital to assist in Epstein's operations by seeing girls and women that Epstein's criminal cabal sent him. Ting seems to have first gotten involved in Epstein's operations by doing breast augmentations for victims. But things escalated in 2012 after Epstein appears to direct his close associate, former girlfriend, medical doctor, and founder of Mount Sinai's Dubin Breast Center, Eva Dubin, to arrange medical treatment for a victim he was flying in from Little St. James with blunt force trauma and likely concussive injuries to the head. Eva tells Epstein that plastic surgeon Jess Ting is standing by, and he appears to be the one who provided the clandestine care to an unknown victim who may have been a minor at this point. It does not appear that either medical doctor, Dubin or Ting, directed the convicted pedophile trafficker to take the victim to the nearest emergency.
Jesus, lady. Some people don't know how to do this online thing. And then they're like, why do I have 3 views? Happens all the time. Sucks, but it happens all the time. But I just wanted to let you know that doctor is into some weird stuff, some very weird stuff, and he should be looked at more. He is in the emails. He is helping, like she said, helping him do plastic surgery where needed. And it is one of the weirder things that you will hear about within the files.
So the House Service.
And then other than that, I had Lex here. Lex, I keep calling him Lex. Les, billionaire. He had to testify. Now, he gave a handwritten statement to the Oversight Committee ahead of the testimony on Redacted Jeff. In the letter, he says he was duped, he was naive, etc., etc. This is the whole letter. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I don't even know why he gets to do this first. Now, I will say, as much as I might not like Hillary actually did say just yesterday, we covered it. She was like, we tried to give a written statement like other people did, and they wouldn't let us. Why are they letting him do that and not letting her do that? Now, apparently, he did talk in front of a hearing, but I can't find it anywhere. Usually, they have these things filmed. And I'm not seeing any of it. I'm seeing, is this it? I'm seeing people outside talk about it. I'm seeing congressmen outside talk about it. But I'm not seeing any video of him. AP News, same thing. They're all just outside. We're not seeing the actual video of it at all. And I don't get it. There's no video of him talking at all. So they say that he testified under oath, but we can't see it anywhere. Why? If he was a co-conspirator, people are saying that, Redacted Jeff doesn't exist without this guy. He said he was financing this guy to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, right? He had complete control over Les's whole empire and fortune. So people say everything that he was able to pull off, from the island to the massive house and the multiple houses and the ranch and the this and the that, all of that was I don't want to say financed, but because he had this one big fish at the beginning, he was able to do all this stuff. And he probably wanted to do the same thing with the now Prez. Probably wanted to do this with Prez Orange as well. And I mean, who's to say he didn't? I don't actually know. But for the most part, I mean, it seems like he didn't. The now Prez may be mentioned in the files quite a bit, but he's definitely not mentioned as a co-conspirator, whereas Les actually is mentioned as a co-conspirator. I just find it odd that we're not able to actually see what was going on with him. Weird. Anyway, now we'll get to the super chats. We will get to the super chats now. I just didn't want, like, listen, if they're watching and they're like, oh, we don't want you to talk about this, buddy, you're gonna watch me talk about it. You're over at headquarters because you're mad about what I said about Dan Bongino. You're mad about that. Hey, listen, you're gonna hear me talk about it. Oh, Jamie's in the chat, guys. Brace yourselves. Let's go through the super chats, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Friedman, please hit that like button as well, guys. How many likes are we at? You know what? I'm on the super chats here, but I'm going to be in the chat over here. How many are we at so far, guys? Please tell me how many we are currently at. Les is going to be off. No. I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he's like 80 years old or something like that. So anything that happens to him is obviously natural causes. I mean, it'd be silly to think of anything else. No, I'm not frozen anymore. I'm good. Whoever that was, you know what? If you're still here, whoever you are, because I didn't get to see your name, please let yourself be known. And I don't know if we can give someone a membership directly, but we should give that person a membership. If we can't, then they should get in contact with me, and then I should send them some merch because they really helped me out there. We're at 3.5, 3.7. Oh man, get to 4,000 likes, please, guys. Please hit that like button. Helps tremendously. The things that I'm talking about, I'm probably not going to get shared as much as I usually do, impression-wise. So the likes help dramatically. You have no idea. Keith Tank says, Baron hit you back. I was watching. When I said he was 67, I didn't say he was 67. I said he must be. And I was thinking he must be because he has so many kids. So when did he start having the kids? There's 8 of them. I have to use 2 hands to show you how many. That's crazy. And very nice. Very nice. Caught a stray. He said you pay her to look Jack. I don't pay her. Okay. But her YouTube channel has to be making some kind of money. So I guess I kind of indirectly do help her with payment a little bit. So he's kind of right about that. Ruth for America, Mint Daddy Crew, holler. Thank you for joining. Scotty Miller, this 3-hour live show helps me get through the worst part of my day. Thank you, Coach, for all that you do. And you're extremely entertaining videos. God bless and keep going, Max. Thank you so much, man. I think that is the best compliment ever because I used to struggle getting through my work day, working at grocery stores, working in warehouses, working in tractor trailers, just working jobs I hated. You know, one time I had to work this job. It was like at a printing press for like a magazine. Right. And I also worked at this like Office Depot. Right. And I worked both jobs at the same time. So one was at night, one was during the day. So I thought I could do this because I really needed money and I couldn't figure out how to save. And it's like they just don't give you enough money. So I was like, OK, I'm going to work both jobs. And I was going from the job, the daytime job. I would go home. I would sleep for maybe an hour and a half. Then I would get up and the other job would run up until the morning. And then I would have to go straight to the first job. And I did that for I think I did it for like 4 weeks. And it got to the point where I was almost falling on the ground. I never thought you could do that. I was so tired that I would kind of I'd be standing and close my eyes and like almost fall on the ground. It was one of the worst periods of my life. And podcasts helped me through that very much. So to hear you say that, it means a lot, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a horror story. Sending love from Estonia. Yes. How do you say your name? Morelti Kiwi? Oh, I know you. No, I'm kidding. Nacho Buddy Chief. Bet he's pooping. Because I was late. No. I was putting face cream on and getting my tabs together. I always put the face cream on. Really need that Harpole high today. Lost my sis son. No, come on. Don't say that. What am I? Oh, come on. You make me sad. I can't do it when I'm sad. Like, for real? What, condolences? And then I'm supposed to just be like, hey, what's going on? Thank you so. I'm too sad to do it when you do that. Hey, really gotta tell you, just condolences to whoever you lost. Okay, just make sure when you go to the casket, you just drop some mints on them, okay? I'm just telling you, that is the best thing to do. To know that you are going into the transition into a better place with mints is hands down the best thing you could possibly do for a person, okay? Why would you make me do that? Why would you make me do that? Condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss, and I hope you're feeling okay. It's rough. It's rough. I've lost, like, I guess there's like family, my wife's grandmother, but also, you know, my dad, my best friend, they passed away like 3 months apart, maybe 2 months apart. That's the only like hard loss, you know, that I've had. I couldn't imagine like a sibling. I just couldn't imagine that. I'd be so flabbergasted, especially because like we don't have the most connective relationship, so I would just be broken. I guess this is a point where you should really say, like, if you guys got brothers and sisters and you're not like super connected to them, you should like message them and talk to them and stuff. I got to do that way more. Anyway, sorry for your loss. Morning coach, Fleet needs an artistic award. Yeah, we'll work on getting her a Grammy or an Oscar or something. I don't know. Mike Riley, brother coach, fellow father and Jesus follower. I start work every day at 3 a.m. I thank you for the joy you bring to my day when that clock strikes 10. Thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate that. And it's wild that you start work at 3. I have a friend that wakes up at 3, but starting work at 3 is a whole different ballgame. You know, you're a vampire. So that's nice. It's good to see that I have vampire fans. Holly Small says, me and my 78-year-old tour mothers love watching you. 78-year-old tour mothers. I feel like you mean grandmother or your mother. Okay. Love watching you. You are great. Thank you so much. And she loves the show too. That is very, very interesting. I always find that so flabbergasting to me. Ask her what the biggest change in society is from now to back when she was a kid. I'm always interested in that. When older people tell me that they're old, I always want to know what's the biggest difference, you know? Underwater what? Underwater pee? All right. I haven't come across humor like yours ever. Besides my twin brother, we'd have each other rolling, unable to breathe. Thanks for being you. All the love to you and your fam. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Heather back again, loving the British accent. You love the British accent, isn't it? Right? I've been told I do it quite well, right? My mother, right? Me mum, she used to watch EastEnders, right? And she watch Coronation Street. You ever heard of EastEnders and Coronation Street? She used to watch those two She used to watch those two shows every single day, all the time, right? Because she's from Barbados, right? And in Barbados, they call themselves Little England because they love the royal family. They love it so much. They love the boot on the neck. Right? Every other Caribbean place had a revolution, right? Stringing up masters and whatnot, right? Barbados, we didn't do that. We didn't do none of that because we liked them, right? So that's the reason I can do it so well. Joshua, did you ever look into Dean Koontz book Night Chills? I the key, I am the lock. No, I didn't. Do I have the notes here? I usually have a bunch of notes built up. No, I didn't though, but I will. Dean Koontz. That's his name. I will look into that. I have to find more books to read, honestly. Who said, Baron calling out your muscle last night? I was watching, and then he messaged me about it right after he was done. Right? The balls on that guy. Tells me about it after he's done doing it, you know? Anyway, and then he said he loves you guys. He said he loves the community. He's just so happy with it. South African back again. Don't believe the media about South Africa either. Elon got the now press to pressure us so he didn't have to comply with our race-based laws. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? the race-based laws. Wait, is that a bad thing or a good thing? I feel like that's a good thing, right? Like, what does the media say? The media was saying that there was a lot of race-based stuff going on, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But I won't believe them then. South Africa also had just taken Philadelphia to the... Yeah, I heard about that. I definitely heard about that. That's very interesting that they did that. You know? That doesn't get covered a lot. For no reason. I mean, it's just, there's more important things going on. I don't know if you've heard what's going on with Nicki Minaj. Perhaps you haven't heard what's going on with Nicki Minaj. There's many more important things to talk about. I know Black Poppy. Boogie Down. AZ, thank you so much. Fleet is going to have fun with today's show. Hopefully Fleet's feeling up to it. My T-Mouse. Oh, I like that. Mighty Mouse. Charles should be investigated for his very close relationship with Jimmy Savile. Yeah. Oh, King Charles. Yeah, right? Not just Jimmy Savile. Sir Jimmy Savile. Sir. Crazy. He's a sir. It's the highest possible honor that they have to give, you know? Other than arresting you for a Facebook post. That's also a high honor over there. I got a text from Clock Tower, told them exactly what I think of Philadelphia. I might be on the radar now. I think you'll be okay. Honeybee's house. I think you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Kel Bella, Coach, I love your sense of humor. Screaming it from the rooftops. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Absolutely says nothing. That's fine. Cohen Films says, Coach, you rock. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Fit Cali Chick joins the daddy crew. Oh, Jamie's here. Jamie's here, has something to say. Dang right. Freedom of speech is over. I got 4 of my last Zupa chats for you denied, and they were high dollar. Super chat, right? I'm sure that's what that means. I don't know why that happens. Why does that happen? What are you trying to say? Jamie, what are you trying to say? Okay? I'm just putting it out there. Okay? What is it that you want to say? Because it's probably what you're trying to say. Sometimes YouTube does it on their own too. They're like, this is crazy. You can't say this. You know, they just do that type of thing. But we do apologize when that happens. But honestly, what were you trying to say? Because you say some stuff, Jamie. You know that. You know that about you, okay? You say some pretty wild stuff from time to time. I mean, the stuff you said about Puerto Rico, I was like, wow, Jamie's just out there. But, you know, again, sorry that it happened. Why did Cash Patel sound like he was trying to convince Dan Bongino he was supposed what he was supposed to have been a part of? I guess kind of. Not really though. I think Dan just got reassigned. I don't think he left that position. Well, I think he left that position, but again, he got reassigned to doing something else. They need somebody like Dan to be speaking highly of things. And he had, you know, undeniably had a huge following. I mean, the Bongino army was big, very, very big. So they need somebody to do that kind of thing again, right? Oh, do we have a pun here? What do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw... What do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw us? I mean, there you go. I read that twice because my wife loves a nice pun. Free us from what? Huh? What are you talking about? Free us from what? There's nothing to free us from. They're fine. No. They just give opinions. No, they're completely fine. No. I don't agree with that. I mean, what do they do that's wrong? I don't know. That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, though. I got to tell you that. I don't give a Dom joins the Mint Daddy crew. Thank you so much. Prince Andrew, straight to jail. Why not? Is it because the USVI closet had Princess Diana to admire while getting dressed daily? Oh my gosh. Really? You think so? That's crazy. Possible. I mean, you know, her death wasn't on the up and up, right? They kind of like chased her down, kind of made all that happen, you know? I don't give a Dom. Where did Evil Ian Hara come from? Don't look. Who? Evil Ian Hara? Who's that? That must be Dan or Don Huffines. Where did Evil Ian Hara come from? Don't look. You know, sometimes I feel like you guys are trying to like activate a sleeper cell or something. You know what I mean? Like I just read those words out loud and somebody at home was just like, they just stood up and now they're like walking to the kitchen. I believe the update has something to do with X and YouTube going down right after another. X went down too? I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, X did go down. You're right. Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, X went down first, and then the next day, YouTube went down. That's very interesting. Okay. That's odd. Huh. Maybe they just all have our information now. Yeah, maybe someone else has it now. I don't know. That's a very weird thing to have happen. You know, when there are cyber attacks, sometimes it's not quite what it seems. It seems like things just go down. Like there was in previous administration, there was some kind of attack that happened, and right away they released a statement saying that they knew what it was and it was completely fine. But in reality, it came out that they didn't know what it was. So sometimes they just kind of act like it's one thing, but in reality, they don't even know what happened. That is possible. Sometimes it's just them, you know. You're testing things out. And then my camera went down. It's never happened before. Something to do with going down right after one another. They are up to something weird. You are so hilarious. Crisis King, bless you and your family. Love you. Go Max. Love always. Go Max. Thank you so much. Jamie, see I'm not in jail. I see you, Jamie. Can't believe I overslept. Again, prayers to Fleet. Thank you so much, Fleet, friend of the show. Chantel Sherry. Not me going to X to see that Bongino clip. My eyes. You went to see it? I mean, I told you it's gross. It's gross. I mean, it kind of made me laugh, but definitely can't show it on here. It's terrible. It's a terrible picture. Just a terrible picture. I don't know who made that, why they made it. Supported Trump. He was naive, conned, foolish. Actually, well, no, not really. Not really. Buddy, not over Kamala. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Kamala was not a cultural. Kamala had the same ideas that have gotten so many countries into terrible situations. She was a vessel. She lied about what she was. I know all about being Caribbean, okay? My dad's Caribbean. You know, she would make up accents. She would act, if she was in one place, she would act like she was that place. If she was in another place, she'd act like she was in that other place. She couldn't give speeches. She couldn't give interviews. She was not good. She did not seem like a leader whatsoever. So based on the two, oh man, I don't know, man. I'm very much like Candace, just so you know, right? I'm very much like Candace. A lot of people are, they don't realize that. As they see me talking. I've been told I am a classic liberal. Older people tell me I'm a classic liberal because they can remember what a liberal used to be. But man, oh man, between the two, it's not even close. You're nuts. I used to always make the joke, if Kamala would have went to Russia one time, she would have came back and been like, so guys, great news. We are now Russia number 2. Isn't that right, Pootie? That's what I call him. So now we are Russia. Okay. We talked it over and we're Russia now. So I just wanted to let you guys know I'm now the vice president again, which is fun. And here's your overlord, Pootie, as I call him. That's what would have happened. Anyway, that's definitely what would happen. We love you, Coach. So thankful that you are Daly was a Rush fan, and now I'm a Coach Baron Candace Ian fan. Although Ian is not PG. May God bless you and your family. Oh yeah, and Dee Dee. Yeah, Ian doesn't play around, man. He's not doing that. Ian doesn't play that self-censored stuff. And respect to him for doing that. You know, he stands tall in what he wants to say, and you know, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. I mean, we talked about it. He's like, listen, he's like, I don't have like a family and all that stuff. He's like, I don't have to do that. You know, he's like, I'm going. You know, he does what he does. He even said, I was watching him live one time. He's like, should I be doing that? He's playing my video. He's like, should I be saying all these names? He was questioning it. I'm like, yeah, do what you do, man. They got different rule books for different creators. I don't know what it is, but that's just the way it is. So he's not PG. You're right. But wow, a whole bunch just flew in. Sorry about that. We gotta go to the top because I see Jamie has something to say here. Brace yourself. James Bond would take this cult in 2 weeks. He did it in every movie. No more real men anymore. And I'm talking Sean Connery, 007, man. Oh my gosh, Jamie. Jeez. All right. Respect. I respect it. James Bond would listen. You're right. James Bond would do that. And it would be very quick. And, you know, Erica Kirk would be the Bond girl, and she'd try to convince him to do some stuff, and he would see through that in a second, you know? And when she made him a drink, he would say, "Oh gosh, duck." And then when she ducked and turned around, he'd throw the drink over his shoulder, you know? He wouldn't get taken in. You're 100% right. 100% right. You know something about James Bond? You know, the reason that he likes his drinks shaken and not stirred is because if you he says shaken, not stirred. The reason is because when you pour it out and you don't stir it, the water goes to the top. So he seems like he's drinking and getting drunk with whoever he's with, but he's actually not. And he's just drinking water because he doesn't play around. You ever notice? Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. That is what James Bond is doing. He's not playing around. So I found that out the other day. I was flabbergasted. I was like, what is going on? They're like, for real? But that's what he does. He just drinks water. When you see him in every movie, he's drinking water, you know? Erica's gold fingers. Ew. Come on, man. We can hear you good. Thank you so much for letting me know about the Frozen. Oh, man, that was crazy that happened. I can't listen to Cash Patel talk. I had to fast forward through it. He even sounds like he wears women's medium jackets. I can't take him seriously. That is a wild thing to say, and it's probably true, right? It's probably true. Seems like it, right? He seems like a little guy to me, but I don't know. He could be a big guy. I don't know. He could be like 5'7", man. He could be a huge dude. Probably not though. He's probably 5'4" or something like that. 5'4", and his waist size is probably 33 inches. Just like, you know, just randomly. You know, you seem like the kind of guy that gives good hugs and smells fresh and minty. Vera Black Designs, thank you so much. And I definitely you know what? You know what's so funny? I actually have a deodorant that I love, and it smells like mint. I'm not kidding. It smells like mint, and I love putting it on. And that's a real thing. I'm not making that up. That's an actual thing. I love my minty deodorant. I actually wear it all the time. Irina Davis joins the Mint Daddy crew. Thank you so much. Dragonfly 13. My brother was in a rollover and broke his neck and back in 3 spots. I thank God every day I didn't lose him. We're very close. Lost my man in 2018, which was so hard. Be thankful for your loved ones. Oh man. Yeah. That's a serious thing to have happen. All that stuff. You know, you lost your man. I don't know if if that means like your boyfriend or fiance, or husband, but man, yeah, stuff like that is crazy. You just never know. You never know. The youngest person I knew that passed away was like 28. It was like, I have a family friend, right? There's like few, like Crown Heights, there's few black families. Not few, but it's like we're in an area where it's like mostly Orthodox Jewish people. And he lived across, and I've known him forever. I know him like I know my brothers. I've never not known him. I don't have any memories where he wasn't there. So he's like a brother to me. Definitely. And he had a sister, and she passed away at like 20. She passed away at like 26 years old or something like that. And it was crazy to see that happen, because you just assume that you're going to know everybody forever. You just assume. Made it through alive. Normally takes me 24 hours. That's funny. Had to change my chat just to say it. Oh, did you have like a crazy name before? Says absolutely nothing. Look at you. But yeah. She passed really young, and you just assume you're gonna have everybody around. You know, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I often think about how it's a weird thing. Like the best case scenario is that you pass away very old, grandkids, and everybody around you is just really sad. And like, that's how you pass away. That's like best case scenario. Best case scenario, you pass away, you rip out somebody's heart, you know? It's just, it's crazy. Mom Donnie, that's how you spell That's how you spell Mom Donnie. Okay. Is working in the T Tower near Rockefeller Plaza, New York City. Real estate tycoons and bankers. Cuomo reports on Cuomo. Put me in, coach. Thank you so much for that. That is an incredible way to spell Mom Donnie. Hey, Mint Poppy, you truly make my day. Stay sparkly. Oh, of course. We always stay sparkly here. Inspired by the great Erica Kirk. Watching from Uganda. Thanks for the laughs. Uganda. Wow. Susanna, of course they arrested Prince Andrew on his 66th birthday. Yeah, exactly, right? Very interesting. The numbers matter so much to these people, you know? They always say symbolism will be their downfall. Cody, here again. Cody, what's going on? I know Graham Allen's co-host as well. He lied to me about what I was going to be getting into, what I was gonna get going into the National Guard, and I never received any of it. Interesting. Very interesting. I didn't know he had a co-host or a producer, maybe behind the scenes. I didn't know that. Mama Llama, thanks for my day. Thanks for making my day better. I'm bummed that they're moving the Chicago Bears to Indiana. I'm from CK's neck of the woods. Charlie would be sad. Charlie loves sports, man. I was watching a video of Charlie just like throwing a football back and forth. He was answering all these questions. And he said he would have loved to been a football player. That was like the number one thing he wanted to be, which is very odd. I think he was, and you know what was funny? I was watching the video, and then all of a sudden Erica shows up. So it was probably just around the time that they first met. It was very interesting. And then she revealed that he likes pineapple on pizza and she doesn't. And I was like, for the first time ever, I have to be Team Erica. I do not like pineapple on pizza. My wife does. My wife is Team Charlie. I'm Team Erica in that respect, because pineapple on pizza is absolutely deplorable. Okay? Deplorable. Anyway, let's keep on going here. Cody again. Cody, he didn't fill out paperwork for me to get an MOS in the National Guard. He had to do that because I was prior service. Now, so this is what you're talking about with like loose morals and stuff like that, right? Did it benefit him at all? And what is an MOS? I don't know what that is. Let me know, please. Oh my God, your impersonations are literally the best. Why am I laughing out loud, Kamala? Kamala. When you impersonate Kamala, you just have to have a good time. She's just having a good time, whatever she's doing, you know? She's just having a real nice time, right? Kamala sucks, still can't support Agent Orange. A vote, yeah. NP, yeah, a vote, yeah, no problem. I assume that's what that means. But no more support allowed. Lies. But yeah, he's an angel compared to Kamala Harris. Kabbalah. Her name is Kabbalah. Waking up dumb times 6. But yeah, I mean, you know, when it came to her, I mean, she just had a lot of wild ideas. And that's why I compare her to Erica, because it seemed like there was people behind the scenes instructing her on what to say and do. It didn't seem authentic. Nothing about it seemed authentic, right? Ducking the media for weeks. It all just seemed very weird. And it parallels Erica very, very well. But I don't know that Kamala, because, you know, Elizabeth Lane said that Erica, you know, she's talking about her being a psychopath. I don't know that Kamala is a psychopath. She seems like she just got into this position. You know, there's that guy, Willie Brown, I think his name is, or something like that. He kind of, you know, they kind of had their thing, and like she kind of just went through the ranks. But I don't think she's nuts. I don't think she's a psychopath in that respect. I think she's just willing to do what she's told to do, you know, which is like the perfect archetype for a president. Right? Because, you know, the people behind just want to tell him what to do and be the presenting face. I think she would have done that. And I think that would have got people in a lot of turmoil if she got to do it. Anyway, let's keep going here. Waking up dumb times 6 times. Welcome to the crew. Jamie. Oh gosh, Jamie's back, guys. Hold on. Bro, you were so right about Erica in the Bond movies is genius. And Bond drinks all of the martini. Miss Coach Mods, everyone have a great day, Crisis King. Does he drink all of it? I don't think he does. You got to watch it again. I don't think he does drink all of it. There's a lot of times where he's at the bar and there's a sip, and if you notice, he sips quite a bit, and then I think it's just gone. I think there might be a scene or two later on, you know, with Pierce Brosnan is his name, I think. You know, the real handsome one. I don't know about the rest of these James Bonds. He was like the actual James Bond. Sean Connery was just Sean Connery. He's Sean Connery in every movie he plays. But that Pierce was the real James Bond. You might see him drink a whole martini, but like the premise was you don't drink the whole martini, you just sip it, and then it goes away because it's a movie. It goes away and they start talking, they start doing things, you know. I don't think there's many scenes of him just downing a martini. But I could be wrong. I don't care about James Bond all that much. I don't give a Dom says, don't look at evil eyes, you can feel it. Jesus in Matthew 6:22-23, verses 22-23, uses the eye as the lamp of the body. A bad eye. Princess photo is EFTA 00002907. Those are Jeff's red shoes he's pictured in. The red shoe thing. Yeah, okay. All right. I see that. I get that. 100%. Thank you. I'm saying super chats, Joshua. I'm saying the super chats restricted names and subjects. So Cash had to be Patel to post it. Are you sure it was that? I have to deal with that all the time with like titles and stuff. Are you sure it was Cash that was doing it? Like, you sure it was Patel or Patel? You sure? Or was it something else? You gotta re-examine it sometimes. Coach Putin relationship not compromised. He still personally owes Russian-owned Deutsche Bank hundreds of millions, hence the red carpet for Vlad in Alaska. Very embarrassing. Oh, you're not gonna make me say, oh, okay, Kamala's better. That's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I did way too many videos. I have hundreds of videos. You can go back as far as you want. I have too many videos on Kamala Harris and what she was all about, and her father and what he was all about. There's just too many. I'm sorry. You can go check it out. There's literally like 300 episodes. Cody, again, the MOS is the job that you do in the military. Back then, Todd Spears, whoa, another one rolled in. Back then, Todd Spears and Graham Allen got bonuses for the amount of people they got into the National Guard. They weren't always truthful to the recruits. They were more worried about money. They were more worried about money. Interesting. People getting bonuses based on people they recruit? Is that a real thing? That's a weird thing. If that's real, that's wild if that's real. That's crazy. So you sign, I'm not going to doubt you, right? I know you've served. Thank you. But you sign people up and you get bonuses based on that. That's crazy to me. That's nuts to me. Why? Why would they do that? I mean, you're talking about serving the country. Why would you tie money to serving the country? I mean, I know that sounds dumb when you think of war and the whole, money engine it runs on, but still, I mean, that's crazy. To that extent. Funny you bring up classic liberal. Just watched your video with Jimmy Dore from last year. You mixed up Antifa with, oh my God. You have no idea. Let me tell you something about the Jimmy Dore interview, okay? It's the first big interview I'm doing, right? I told you I have a bunch of hats. I mentioned that, right? I have a bunch of hats. I'm not even kidding. So I have a small bladder, right? So I drink water. I start peeing a lot. So I'm not kidding. I take the hats, okay? I shove them down my pants because I'm like, this is Jimmy Dore. And I'm not telling Jimmy Dore I have to get up and go to the washroom. I'm not doing it, okay? I'm not doing it. So I shove the hats down my pants. I'm like, I'm going to piss on these hats if I have to. I'm getting through this interview. That's the first thing. I mean, it was just crazy. Second thing is what you're talking about. I tell Jimmy Dore I was a part of Antifa. Now I say this and I go, I know what I just said. He's talking to me and I'm thinking in my head, what is the actual film workers union that I'm a part of? And why the hell did I say Antifa? So I'm trying in my head to figure out what I'm supposed to say. And then I finally do. And it's like so off topic because it's like, there's been like minutes past. And I go, IATSE. I actually meant IATSE. Sorry, I was a part of IATSE. And he's like, oh, okay. Which was weird because when I said Antifa, he was like, oh, because I kind of liked it. Like he said something about kind of liking him or something like that. And I was like, what's he talking about? And then I was like, what am I talking about? I'm like, I can't believe I just said Antifa. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And then I remembered it's IATSE. So I'm a part of IATSE. It's a continent-wide film workers union. I'm also a part of the Directors Guild. I'm a part of the American Directors Guild and the Canadian Directors Guild as well. Because I can go anywhere and do that job. I'm telling you, man, if you don't have many prospects and you want to work behind the scenes in film, it's one of the only things you can do where you will make more than $100,000 a year. If you have no family and you're not doing much every day, it's a great industry to get into. You become a grip. You don't need a diploma. You don't need nothing. You don't need anything. You become a grip and you get a part of a team and you start working, you'll make like $200,000 a year. You won't do much else, but after like 5 years, you'll be pretty good. They give you food. You don't have to buy food when you work in film. You can take food home. I know guys that used to not buy groceries. They'd be on a set, they'd be on a shoot, and they would not buy any groceries because they didn't have kids and stuff. So they would just take craft service. They'd be like, give me the extra lunches. They would take that home, keep it in the fridge, eat that. They'd be back the next day. You don't have to buy coffee. You don't have to buy food. You don't have to worry about transportation. It's nuts. But it's like, you also might make a wrong turn and get dipped in baby oil. That's the thing though, right? You might end up walking into the wrong room. Somebody has their pants around their ankles, and you got to help out. It's all hands on deck. That's like a thing we say in film, all hands on deck all the time. So you might end up, I don't know. You might end up in a weird situation, right? You might actually, for the first time, see I'm just saying, there's some weird things that could end up happening, right? You might run into a witch. I had a dude who was the head of costume designs for this movie, and this guy was hitting on me all the time. All the time. It was so weird. And I can't hit him, but he's getting like real brazen about it, you know? And there's nothing you can do. And he messaged me after the movie was done. And I was like, this guy, it was kind of insulting because I'm like, I'm about to ask my wife to marry. She was my girlfriend at the time. I'm about to ask her to marry me. And this guy thinks he can dip me in baby oil? What? It was insulting, man. I was like, what's going on here? Who do you think you are, bro? And he was like an old guy. He was like an old guy, gray hair. If I was like that, you think that's what you're at? I'm out of your league if I was like that. What are we talking about here? If it was Jason Momoa, I'd be like, okay, I'm flattered. I'm flattered, sir. Nice hair, nice eyes. I don't do that kind of thing. This guy coming at me was insulting. I was like, what is this? You think you're gonna dip me in baby oil? Anyway. Let's keep going here. Oh, more poured in here. We gotta go back up. There you go. Yeah, that Jimmy Dore interview was hilarious, man. I couldn't believe that, you know? I was so nervous doing that interview. And then Jimmy Dore was ranting. He was just going off on he would just keep going. And I was like, I only had like an hour and I had like 20 questions and I couldn't get through any of them. I got through like 5 questions because he would just go. And I'd be sitting there and I'd be thinking in my head, oh, he's not going to stop talking. Like he's not going to stop and say, what do you think? He's not going to do that. So I had to like interrupt him because I was like, I have to talk about more things. And then we had like this heated back and forth where he was like, progressives aren't liberals. They're not liberals. And I'm like, yeah, they are. They're all on the left. And that's how he's like, well, what's the right and left? I'm like, you know what that is. I'm like, it's a classic liberal. There's progressives. You know that they're on the left. I'm like, if you're on the left, why don't you call out the progressives? And he's like, they're different things. And we're like going back and forth. I'm like, oh my God, now it's getting heated with Jimmy Dore. I'm like, good God. Oh man, it was just stressful. That was a stressful day. I'm having a heated conversation with Jimmy Dore with hats down my pants. You know? The places life puts you, you know? Here, there is. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Here, it is. Thank you. Dang, wrong word. More came in. Hold on, let me just go right back up here. Why is homeboy repeat the last 2 sentences? Talking about Cody repeating the last 2 sentences. Hey, Cody's trying to get a point across, okay? You know, he's like Jimmy 2 times, you know? That's how he is. Everybody has their quirks, their little quirkies. Chantel Sherry, something gearing up. My entire X feed today is people I don't know / follow shaming Candace or people who criticize Erica and Turning Point. Same talking points, same picks. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen when, you know, it's a combination of things. Like your algorithm wants you to engage, and the algorithm doesn't care if you engage negatively or positively. It doesn't care if you're stressed out or you're really happy. So if it knows that you like Candace, it's kind of like a little instigator. It's like, oh, you like Candace, huh? How about this? You gonna engage with this, huh? You gonna tell somebody to F off? It's like trying to show you all that stuff purposely. Also, sometimes they change the algorithm, X. They do little changes here and there, and it's just terrible sometimes. Sometimes they just absolutely crap the bed, and it's terrible. And then, like you said, you see people you don't even follow, and it's like, none of it makes sense. It's like, why am I seeing this? I had that same thing happen to me. Dipped in baby oil. That's what they think sometimes, man. They think they can just dip you. You know, just all willy-nilly. Not me. I don't get dipped, right? Pretty much all recruiters lie to reach their quota. Oh, it's their job. Mine lied too, but I did my own research before I signed. Oh, you're talking about like with the National Guard and stuff? This is correctish English. Yeah, that's interesting. I had no idea that was a real thing. That's nuts. That doesn't make sense to me, man. I really think it shouldn't be like that. I don't think I'm nuts. Pam Bondi should get arrested for protecting PDFs. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean. Who is this? Is this somebody? Yeah, that's the MOS message. What's this one? That is the MOS message. I just want to make sure. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, you missed mine," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like you went to the washroom or something." You know, sometimes if you're gonna listen to these super chats, you should have a bunch of hats down your pants. That way you don't have to go to the washroom. I did it. You know, another interview I had was with Eddie Bravo, and let me tell you something. That was the coolest interview I've ever done, because I watched him on Joe Rogan for so long, and his like social media producer, Mike Plaster. Shout out to Mike Plaster, absolute great guy. We hang out in Austin. He actually moved to Austin. It was so great, and then we actually got to meet up. And then he introduced me to Eddie Bravo. And Eddie Bravo is exactly like, I interviewed him, and he's exactly who he is in the interview. I've also talked to him off camera, and he's exactly the same guy. It's like not put on. It's not just for show. There's some guys where it's just for show. You know, I have a comedian friend who's toured with a lot of conspiracy guys who are comedians. And he's like, it's just for show. He's like, when they're in their regular life, they're not like that at all. And I found that very weird, but not Eddie. Eddie is so cool. The last time I talked to Eddie, he was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about the Shroud of Turin, sorry. And I wrote to him, I'm like, man, you killed it. That was amazing. And he just writes this like heavy message back to me, and he ends it. It was like all capital letters. He's like, Jesus is Lord. And I'm like, okay, all right. Like, you know, cause we're like, he was in Austin. So I was trying to meet up with him, but I didn't want to like be like, hey man, you gotta meet up with me. I didn't want to do that. So yeah, he just said Jesus is Lord, and we left it at that. I was like, okay, man. But Eddie's great. Eddie's actually fantastic. You're too young to remember the best James Bond, Sean Connery. Oh, you have no idea what my mom used to make me watch when I was a kid. I was watching Shawshank Redemption when I was 6. That was like a fun kid, like nostalgia childhood movie for when I was a kid. My mom would make me watch whatever my mom was watching. I was watching. Like, that's how she worked. She was like, I'm not doing a cartoon for you. You're watching Shawshank Redemption today, you know? That's what it was. You're watching this because this is what I'm watching, and that's it. And she just didn't care, you know, whatever scenes, you know how Shawshank Redemption gets. She didn't care. She's like, you're just gonna watch this, whatever. And yeah, I've had to watch all sorts of things. And she's like not a movie buff, but she knows a lot about like culture and movies and shows and stuff. So I've seen Sean Connery, believe you me, but I've also seen the rest of them. He's not the best one. He's not the best one. You have to have multiple things, right? So he was kind of pretty when he was younger, but Pierce was pretty. He had the accent. He had the swag. He had the cars. He had the best Bond girls. Pierce had it all. I'm sorry. Sorry to break it to you. Pierce had it all. Sean Connery was just a guy when he was James Bond. Pierce became James Bond. I mean, it was just completely different. It was completely different. And that is part of it. You got to be pretty. You can't just be a guy and just be like, hey, I'm James Bond. I'm James Bond. You can't just, no. Pierce had the posh British accent, okay? It's completely different. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? I could go on for days about movies and stuff, but I don't. Steve King's a brilliant writer. Shawshank Redemption is a little extreme for a 6-year-old. Yeah. And I watched it so many times. I loved it. I loved watching Shawshank Redemption when I was a kid. I was like, this is such a cool movie. Like, he gets out, like he's crawling through mud, you know, in that tunnel, him and Morgan Freeman, you know. It is very heavy though. Like the librarian that ends up like getting out and like putting himself back in, and you know, how he ends and everything. The Irish dudes who are trying to like take the what's his name, Tim Robb. They're trying to take his butt, you know. They're trying to get his butt and stuff. You know, it was a wild movie. It was, but my mom was just like, whatever. I'm watching this stuff. I'm like, well, what can I do? I don't want to watch a kids thing with you. I don't want to watch Sesame Street. I'm not doing it. She's like, I work 2 jobs. She's like, I work through the night. I deliver newspapers. I'm watching what I want to watch. So sit here and watch it or go outside. That's how it worked in the 90s. You could either watch what I'm watching or you can go outside and I won't know where you are, but come back soon. Hopefully you come back. That's how it worked in the 90s. This old dude insulting AF, the audacity, baby oil. Yep. The baby oil, guys. It was absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Couldn't believe it, man. I actually could not believe it. Anyway, let's get going, guys. I have to get going. We just hit the 3-hour mark. I hope you guys, whoever has listened all the way through, I don't know, but someone said butt pirates. Pierce is a nunce. Love your show. Thank you so much. My mom loved crime on TV. My mom loved crime. My mom also loved surgeries. My mom used to watch surgeries. Like, she would just watch and just be like, just watching surgeries all the time. And watch National Geographics and like African tribes doing voodoo and stuff. She would watch such an arrayment of things. And I would just have to sit there and watch it. And I was just like, all right, I guess we're watching somebody getting a heart transplant right now. I guess that's what we're watching. They used to show that on TV. I don't know if they show that on TV anymore. I don't know if they do. Back in the day, they did. It was crazy. Anyways, guys, just wanted to say bye to everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, 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 really appreciate it. I hope we hit the likes. I hope we hit that many likes. The wife always wants to just throw memberships around, so hopefully we hit it. If not, then, you know, that's kind of on you guys, you know. Did you just smoothly say that you pee on hats? I would have peed on hats. For Jimmy Dore, I would have peed on hats. 100% I would have. I mean, I was ready to. I was like, if I have to, I will. I have no problem doing that. Again, you know, you're sitting down. It's not like he'd know. But I didn't want it to get on the floor, right? I didn't want it to get on my chair. So I was like, it'll get on the hats. We'll wash the hats, you know? You got to listen, this YouTube thing, you got to make it any way you can. You can't just decide that you're not going to pee on hats. You can't decide that you're above peeing on your own hats. You can't do that. You can't play that type of game. Oh, you're 300 off. Man, I wish we hit those like numbers. I really wish we did. It would have been great. It would have been something great. I don't know if Jamie has gotten a membership. I'm waiting for the day Jamie gets a membership. I actually remembered today's Thursday. Today's Thursday. Today's Thursday? Is it Thursday? Come on, show me. What's going on, phone? Yeah, today's Thursday. So I thought we'd be able to do the member stream on Friday, but I think we're going to have to do it on Monday. It's probably something like that. Check your wallet, coach. Check my wallet for what? You took my wallet? Did someone take my wallet? But thank you guys so much. Thank you for your comic relief during these times. Thank you so much for that right before we leave like that. Really appreciate you. But yeah, guys, thank you for being here. You know, I'm just saying bye to everybody. Somebody the other day was like, what the hell's with all the byes? I'm just saying bye. I like to say bye. What can I say, you know? I like everybody to see it so they know, so it's not like an abrupt leaving, you know? But so hopefully we hit those likes. Are we closer? Are we closer to the likes? I don't know. I don't even know. Oh, we're so close, guys. You know? Wanted to be able to give something away to y'all. But don't forget, oh, I have to say this again. I have to say it again. Oh, we're 200 away. I do have to say it again. I keep forgetting every single time. I'm supposed to do this at the beginning, and I just forget every single time. But Prince Andrew arrested. Any developments on Prince Andrew? Nothing yet. The Clips channel. You guys have to join the Clips channel when you have a chance. Look at that. Look at that happy guy. Look at that. Oh man. Anyway, let's check it out. This is what it's called. That's what you search. You search Coach Colin Clips. Wow, there's been like 1,000 of you that have joined since. Wow, since we've resurrected the channel. Thank you so much. But the Clips channel is there, guys. Please join that channel. It will help us tremendously. Like I said, I'm trying to help out everybody who likes the long form content, but also needs that short form content. So we're just trying to make sure everybody is taken care of. So please go and check that channel out. It will be a good thing for you. It'll be highlights from here, maybe things that you missed. Maybe you only watch half the stream. It will be highlights. We're trying to put out like, I don't know, 3, maybe 4, maybe I think like 3 clips a day, something like that. We're putting them out pretty much like every 3 hours. It's like 9 a.m., noon, and then 3 p.m. I guess we could do one at 6 p.m. If we have it. But that's what we're trying to do. And yeah, just hit up that channel, guys. It's very much appreciated. But when it comes to the chat, let me just see the chat once again. There you guys are. Just sub to the channel. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you, Just Margaret Real. Liked twice. How do you like twice? You can like twice. 500 people watching need to hit the like button. You're already great. Thank you so much. All hail Fleet. Yes, all hail Fleet. And make sure to prayer for Fleet. 200 more. That's when they give away memberships. I should really be saying that at the beginning. It's kind of my fault, honestly. I should have said, hey, at the beginning, this is what we do. But I didn't say that. I forgot. I forget. I get into a stream of consciousness. That's what they say. The creators, that's what they say. They say they get into streams of consciousness and they tend to forget things, you know? Sometimes I'll do this whole 3-hour show and somebody will be like, you said this. And I'll be like, I said what? I said what? Huh? When did I say that? You know? That happens all the time, especially with the shorter videos. I'm like, I don't know what I said. What did I say? Fleet reminds me of what I said. Because she'll make a video and I'll be like, wow, I said that, huh? Look at me. I'm a funny guy. Sometimes I completely forget. I have no clue what I've said sometimes. I just roll hard, heavy. I don't play around. Dragonfly's a member now. We are close to the likes, guys. We are actually very close to the likes. That's nuts. All I have to do is bring it up. I had no idea that's what I had to do. I apologize for not doing it, guys. You know? Really apologize. There, I liked it even I liked it. Trying to get it there for you guys. Let me know if it actually happens. I kind of want to hang out just to help it happen. I kind of just want to hang out more so it can actually happen. Oh, we hit 339K subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined recently, who has actually decided to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, like I said. Let me see if there's any updates on Prince Andrew at all. Like, is he going to jail? Is he locked up now? New Mexico probes allegations of body buried in Zorro Ranch. Oh, man. Dan Bongino on the sudden arrest. From what we're getting here, early reporting. Is he actually arrested? Not allowed to turn himself in? So I'm wondering. Listen, I don't care what Dan Bongino has to say anymore. He's probably going to take credit for that. Yeah, you see, that's the type of stuff that I've been doing. So what have you guys been doing? Huh? You guys have been sitting on your butts, and I've been out here arresting Andrew. Dan, that happened in another country. Yeah, but, you know, that's my hard work, right? Dan, weren't you redacting all the files? Weren't you part of the redacting crew? Well, I mean, kind of. That's Trump commenting on the island. That island's in big trouble. Wow, make it obvious. This is crazy. Yeah, nothing popping up. More stuff about Nicki Minaj, of course. Because that's what matters the most. You know, a hit piece coming out on Nicki. Someone's going to write an article just to talk about how crazy that is. Someone's going to write an article about Nicki Minaj, and they're like, this is the thing you have to really watch out for. I mean, who cares? That's happened to Joe Rogan before. Isn't that, you think somebody dies out? That's how you know it's just a distraction from everything that's going on. Because what's going to happen to Nicki Minaj? Like, it's going to be her downfall because someone from Politico wrote an article? Like, are you kidding me? Absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand when all these guys became shills, man. When did they become shills? Matt Walsh urges the U.S. to invade and overthrow the Canadian regime. Wow. That's a wild thing to say. But I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be kind of nice, you know? I know there's a lot of people in Canada, they're like, no, that wouldn't be good. It'd kind of be really good. It'd kind of be really good. I've said it before, you get that First Amendment. You know, you get that Second Amendment. Let me just break it down for anyone who's from Canada. You know the law that's about to be passed? I don't know if it's like C-19. It's like this crazy internet censorship law. You know that law? That law wouldn't be able to stand up to the First Amendment. That law crumbles in front of the First Amendment. And then you got the Second Amendment. Oh, yes, you do. You got the Second Amendment. Oh, you have no idea. It's great. It's great. Anyway, there's no update on Prince Andrew at all. And anything else that I find, I'm going to be bringing to you guys tomorrow anyway. But yeah, people are just talking about what happened to Prince Andrew. Thomas Massey and Rokana got Prince Andrew arrested. That's from Tim Pool. Tim Pool seems kind of upset about it. He's like, you see what these guys are doing? You see what these guys are doing? These guys are see you next Tuesdays, and I'm tired of it. You know, he's going to start ranting and crying like he did with Candace. You know? Going to start screaming and crying just like when he was yelling at Candace. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. Let me just write Prince Andrew and see if there's actually... Like, there was no video even of him getting arrested. There actually was a brief video of him getting arrested, but it was more pictures and everything. Let me just write Prince Andrew here. I just want to see if there's any updates. And when it comes to X, when you type things in, I don't exactly want my screen to be on the I don't want that screen to be visible to you guys because it could possibly lead to something terrible. If you're in the Jeff files, you are a loser. That's his ex-wife saying that. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's just pictures forming. There's just more cases forming. Yeah, they're not talking about anything. To the then Duke of York, Prince Andrew, 2 days before his 50th birthday party. Hope Friday doesn't freak you out, old man. Huh. From Redacted Jeff to Prince Andrew. Whoa. I wonder what they did on that guy's 50th, right? They must have done some wild stuff. Wild stuff. Anyway, you know, Tate says it's fake. He's like, this is fake. You know, I'm in my Bugatti. I'm in my Bugatti right now. And I think it's fake, right? Because when they did it to me, there was video when they did it to me. And they didn't have evidence when they did it to me. That's how Tate talks. So Tate talks like a Monty Python character. Yeah, nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to say it about Tate. Talks like a Monty Python character, and everybody knows it. Okay? Everybody knows it. You watch Monty Python, you hear him talk, you're going to know, oh, did they drop? It happened. The chat is going insane that I'm looking at right now. I don't know. I assume they just dropped. I assume that's what just happened while I was filibustering the way I was just now. Filibustering so these could get thrown out. And we're at 5K. There we are, guys. Thank you guys so much. Congrats on the free memberships to everybody that got one. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah. So we're out of here, guys. I will say bye once again, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do a show tomorrow for sure. 100%. Thank you guys, and thank you for sticking with me while I was frozen like that. But now, because of that person, I know exactly what to do. So